We are live. How is it going, everyone? Hope everyone here is having an amazing night. Hello, Tracy. How's it going? Wowzers, what if someone redeemed IRL word ban and got Tithe? Or Tithe? That'd be unfortunate. No, Tracy should not do that. Should not do that. That would be the most unfortunate thing ever. But we have a lot going on tonight. We are joined here with some special guests as well. If you'd like to introduce yourself, we could go in like alphabetical order for that.
Oh, that's me then.
Yes, it is.
I know what later comes first. Hi, everyone. I'm Addie. I do art and stuff sometimes. I had a blast working on A Tithe and Blood. It's nice to see you all.
Hey, I'm Josh. I am founder of Studio Lawn. I was not the writer or anything for this game. I just kind of helped out with the editing and some other things, but here for a good time. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Suriko. I'm the writer and concept of the game. Pleased to be here.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. Really quick, did we want to talk about what we're going to be doing on this stream?
Yeah, so we have some like really exciting announcements for Tithe and Blood. We haven't really said. Dark Bender doesn't know.
Yeah, it is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all a complete mystery, which again is part of what makes it so fun. So I'm so down for that.
But yeah, we also have we received a lot of really awesome questions through the Q&A. So after events, we will be answering some of those. And yes,
We got so many questions.
Yeah, we got so many questions. I was actually really worried that we weren't going to get enough. But...
Yeah, as I was going through numbering them, I was like, oh my gosh, we're at 49. That's insane. The list just kept going.
I actually made like a version of the QA the question form, and then like I forgot to send it, and then you sent me your version, and I saw all the like funny like commentary for every question. I was like, let's go with that one.
I'm glad that you appreciated those. I had a great time making it. But yeah, no, so we're going to be probably just yapping for the next little while until it's time for the announcement, which so excited for. Because, hey, do you guys have any guesses as to what it is? No.
See what other people think. No guesses.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant you three. What do you guys think it's going to be?
Wow. It's a mystery.
I think we're going to be announcing our next Souls-like game.
Oh, for reals? Oh my gosh. Yuri and Souls-like?
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh no, Yuri for $90. I don't know if I could afford that.
A Tithe and Bloodborne 2.
Plus she announcing.
You get around to a sequel before Bloodborne does. That's crazy. OMG, Josh is real. Sariko is real. Yes, they are both very real and very here.
They're all real. Yes. Hard to
Is this
believe.
stream real though?
I don't think so. Not yet. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
That sounds good. I've gone to bed like 5 times, so maybe this is a part of another one of my dreams.
Oh no,
Another micro nightmare.
A micro nightmare. I've never heard that term before, but that's foul.
That's what she was saying she was having.
Yeah, I just didn't think about it in like that terminology.
Multiple micro nightmares.
All in one
I recently
night.
played a micro game collection, so maybe the word micro was just in my brain.
It's topical.
It all makes sense. But no, that'd be so unfortunate if like you wake up and it's like, oh no, the stream didn't happen. We have to do it all again. Oh no.
Oh no!
It's like a dream rehearsal.
Oh,
I've actually had those because I used to be in musicals and I had like dream performances, and then I wake up and be
Man.
oh no, I'm not emotionally ready to do this 2 times today.
Yeah.
And I'm also just quickly tweeting out that we are live. Also, what's it called on Blue Sky? For like, is it just called posting there?
I think officially it's just posting.
Okay.
Skeets. Some people call them skeets.
Skeets? I guess that makes
Skeets,
sense.
SKEET, yeah.
Oh.
Like sky tweets.
Oh, that's Oh no, I was just gonna call it like Bluey or something,
match.
like something like that. Like that's worse. Ugh.
It's called bleating.
Do you want to Bing that?
Oh god.
Your guess is a plushie for it. If it's a plushie, I'd be so down with that. I'm so down for more of those.
We just do a plushie announcement every time we do a stream.
A plushie
That-
for you. A plushie for you.
That would be a great like tradition though. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Oh, I hope we can continue to do a lot more plushies. World events hashtag.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
That's. I was gonna like. My guess for it was gonna be like, ooh my gosh, are we getting like the acrylic collection? And I was like, my wallet's gonna be in such trouble if that's the case, especially because of world events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is so true. That is all that we really need to say about that. It is not a fun time. My wallet sees something wrong with that Lamau. That's.
For
No, go on.
sorry? Just for such like dour world events, we're gonna be putting in a very dour game.
That's true. Somehow this game is like not as dark as the world events though. That's weird.
Yeah. It speaks to a bitter time.
So true. And thank you so much for the follow. I don't say so. We're actually doing like a very different layout for tonight. For the first time ever, we don't have Twitch chat on screen. Sorry, you guys have to be treated like YouTube tonight. You're just kind of kicked off to the side. You know, we have a little bit of a different layout. But thank you so much for the follow. You got an alert, but the alert box isn't on screen. Yeah, I just didn't want to like obstruct everything that we're going over. What have I missed so far, Weeb? We've yapped. That's the end.
That's about it, yeah.
We're like 7 minutes in, and I'm realizing that Larry's ability to yap for 50 minutes before the start of like playing the game is actually incredible.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no. Like, it is, like, the way that, like, Leary does it is, like, I feel like I can yap for a pretty long time because it's just, like, a flow of consciousness, but then I, like, watch one of her streams and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have nothing on Leary when it comes to just talking. That's insane.
We gotta learn her secrets.
No, we all need to sit down and have, like, a training session with her.
Yap training.
Oh.
But yeah, I was like, oh man, we gotta make sure there's like enough cushion. And now it's like, what do we talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, we could just talk about, like, I'm sorry, that was that was the worst time to take a drink halfway through a sentence. I was just gonna say, like, maybe we could just like talk a little bit about like how you guys are feeling about a Tithe. I am such a failure. I've been saying a Tithe in
it's okay,
blood
it's okay.
instead
It's
of
okay, it's okay.
Tithe for like 10 months. I think the only time I said it right was during the relay, and every subsequent time since then I've said Tithe, and I don't know where it came from.
It's actually kind of fun because I think a lot of streamers pronounce the word differently too. So it's just like, oh, how's this person gonna say it?
That's true. Also,
Yeah.
I have to admit, when we chose the title, it was like I didn't actually realize how archaic that word was. So it's like there was no end of problems. Just like streamers can't say it, the translators.
But
oh
it-
my
Are
god, that was a
confused.
huge.
People on the
saga of
staff are
what do we
confused.
do
What
with
does
this
it
word?
mean?
It's just tradition at this point because we've gotten comments before like, oh, the English in your games is kind of difficult to read as like a non-native speaker. So we're carrying on that tradition.
It's not on purpose, we swear.
Yeah.
see, I think that's like the only word that I've ever had like any trouble pronouncing, but it's like I know how to pronounce it correctly. My mouth just refuses to say the words.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
Like, I think
Josh can attest to like sometimes we're voice chatting and I'm just like I can't just say some words.
It's okay. It happens to all of us.
it's like a skill to be able to talk like that correctly. Like, I think it was when I was playing what's it called? Oh, I'm blanking on the name. The Head Well Lost. And Lore was in the chat and just correcting me on how to pronounce things like every 5 seconds. And I was so grateful because I'm like, yes, I know you've told me how to pronounce this word 5 separate times. How about number 6, please? Can I get another?
Thank you, Lore. I tend to work with a lot of very wordy writers, huh?
But it like makes such great work, so it's so worth it though.
Thank you. Yeah, I like working with them too.
We've been dealing with like the Japanese translation stuff recently, and we were kind of finding out like, oh, visual novels are kind of the most expensive thing to localize just because of how many words are in here.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was speaking to a friend who like works on a different kind of game. It's like, yeah, the entire like script for their game is what, like 4,000 or 6,000 words or something, which is literally maybe 2 or 3 scenes in one of our games, if like not less than that. It's like, oh, we do have a lot of text in here, don't we?
Yeah. Because like unlike other mediums, it's just all words. It's nothing but.
Yeah. Especially for branching visual novels, like you easily get up to novel word counts.
Oh
in a
yeah,
branch
for
visual novel.
sure.
Yeah,
Way
yeah.
beyond, honestly, because like the Nano Remo, which RIP, which
Oh,
is
that's
fair
so
enough, they supported
sad.
AI. They supported AI,
Oh,
so
they
you know what?
did?
We can all, yeah, we can
Oh,
support
RIP.
Nano Remo in our own hearts. But their idea is write a novel in a month, and their word count goal is 50,000 words because that's a 200-page novel basically.
Mm-hmm.
And for reference, Please Be Happy is 220,000 words, so it's like 4 times that.
Yeah.
So it's just a.
We
Oh, go on.
go ahead. Oh, I would say Addie and I have been watching Clanad recently, the anime, but like the visual novel it's based off is like over 1 million words long, and it's just
Ooh.
like I cannot imagine. That's like 5 Please Be Happies, and
Yeah.
PBH already feels pretty long.
So like it's just like the funnest part is just like translating, especially because like you just like again like you said with like the multiple routes and everything. Like if you ever have like any kind of like words in there that like don't translate correctly, I'm sure there's like a bunch of times with that causes like some kinds of issues, like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
At the scale of how many words we have to translate, we actually don't look too deeply into individual translations a lot of the time, just because there's just so many.
Yeah.
Well, it's something kind of funny is that like the process of putting the sprites and the like backgrounds and the music together, it's like there's no proper consensus of what that word is. We use the phrase, we use the term scripting or like visual direction, but like. So sometimes in the credits we put like scripting and then we put down the people who worked on it, and then like the translations are all like, oh, this person must have written the scenario, and they write about like the script writing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like no, that's not what it means. Oh no.
So it just turns into like, which like it makes sense why it would be so complicated, but it sounds like it just gets real complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're about 15 minutes in. Do we want to go ahead and start things off, do you think, or should we wait a little bit longer?
I think I'd be down to wait a couple more minutes just see if there's anyone else who wants to filter in.
Sure.
And if we wanted to, we could answer some of the questions if we wanted to, some of like the simpler ones, like the yes and no kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
good.
great.
Thank you, everyone who sent in questions.
Yes.
Yep.
We were worried about not getting enough, and we got so many questions. So very much appreciated.
Like when I put like when I was like again sending it all, it turns into like there's this huge page of text. Like it basically turned into our entire like chat is just the
You're clicking them
wall.
to me, and it's like, oh my god, like they keep going.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you also got like 1,000 like little message like notifications about that because I had to send them in waves because I couldn't get them all at the same time without like changing the format. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and get those pulled on up. Let me just do a quick little look over and see which one of these we would want. Oh yeah, we could ask, will there be a music room or somewhere in the game we can listen to the OST, and will the soundtrack be available for purchase?
Yep, there will be a kind of music room in the game, and we should have the soundtrack also available.
Yeah, we'll have a digital soundtrack for sure. Physical, not sure about yet, but definitely digital will be available on Steam and the usual places.
Awesome. See, that's what I was looking for, because like the soundtracks in like all these games are just so good that it's like, I want all of these. I want all of them. I definitely maybe ordered the Upwards Rain soundtrack with the rain plush because I'm like, oh, I need that.
Mhm. Oh, so good
Oh.
though. Like,
Oh, for
we work
sure.
with some incredible musicians.
Wasn't Upwards
Yeah,
Rain
for
done
sure.
by Sarah? Wasn't she the one who did that one?
Yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
yes.
That's awesome. She does such great work. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. And the upcoming like the Steam release is gonna have an expanded soundtrack too, so that'll be pretty
Oh,
cool.
what? So, simple question. What exactly does an expanded soundtrack mean, and how is that different than a normal soundtrack? Because I don't know that
like
one.
more songs will be in it than were in the Game Jam version.
Oh, okay. That's
I don't
exciting.
know how many more, but I know we're working on like at least one. So, yeah.
It looks like we have some questions about, wait, Upwards Rain soundtrack? Yeah, there is an Upwards Rain soundtrack up on the Studio Lawn store. And it is, I haven't listened to the extended one, or like, I'm not sorry, the extended one, like the actual like full soundtrack, but it's really good. It's so great.
If you got the soundtrack already, we get the bonus tracks too. I believe so. I'm pretty sure yes.
Sweet. Ooh, and you guys like there's so many good ones here. Are there any console plans for a Tithe in Blood or Tithe? Gosh, I did it again.
Console. I mean, the answer is no. We don't have any plans for it. We would like to.
Yeah, it's something we'd always like to do.
Not planned.
Hey, if you're a porter
yeah.
in the chat watching right now, hey, hit us up.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, please do. Listen, trust me. I have a lot of those in chat all the time, so it's a likely
Oh,
option.
perfect. Yeah. I
We
will
have a
say
contact form on our website.
teaser. Yeah, exactly. We are currently working on a port for another game of ours. I won't say which one yet, but
Ooh.
there are more ports in progress at least.
Spoil it. Drop it in the chat. Let's go.
I mean, there's not too many options to be fair, but
that's
Yeah.
true.
We're doing another console port for Heart of the Woods.
yeah, exactly.
This time we're
Finally
going
coming
back
to
in time.
Xbox.
PlayStation 2.
Oh man, that would be fun.
Oh man, I've always wanted like the time has passed, but like the dream was like having a visual novel on the DS. I feel like that's peak cozy.
Oh, that
Mhm.
is. 'Cause, like,
Now,
I made fake box art for like the 3DS version of Please Be Happy, just like daydreaming.
you did? That's awesome.
I don't think I've
Um,
even seen that.
Oh, it's somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but yeah.
Also, I have someone in the YouTube chat, Weed, asking, hey, so why did the stream say Undertale at the start? It's because I forgot to hit the save button. But now we got it all right.
That's our announcement, everyone. We're doing Undertale.
Yeah, in collaboration with Toby Fox, we are announcing Undertale, the visual novel.
Exactly. Toby Fox has actually done music for a couple of visual novels.
Rose of Winter, I think.
Rose of Winter, yeah, I think there's another one that came out a couple months ago. I don't remember the name. But yeah, he has done a couple VNs. Not like written, but
Yeah.
works on.
But like he seems like just like be like, all right, here I'll grace this thing with like a song, then I'll grace this thing with a song. It's just like a little angel that appears to just like give great music.
Exactly.
Oh,
The
so
fairy of music.
the GGDG one.
The GGD. Wait, say that one more time.
GGDG, or I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a creator who I don't know if you know about Cucumber Quest, but they wrote that.
Cucumber
comic and-
Never
Quest.
heard of that either.
I've never heard of that before. Also, I just vanished off the screen. Where
Oh,
did
no.
I go?
Ghost.
Oh no! I always do. I become one. It's-
Well,
There we go. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's
There
good
you
to
go.
be here. Yeah, Dark Your model died. No, for some reason, I was just like sitting, I looked over, and suddenly I was just gone off the screen. I was like, what do you mean I'm gone? Just put in Mimo as a react. Oh, wait, hang on. You bring up a great point. I realize that we're missing someone very important. Hang on. Bloop. There we go. Mimo's here with us. She's on the head, as
Oh
she
my
should be. She's
Perfect.
here. And if we wanted to, we could answer one more question before going into the special announcement.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Sweet. Any plans to showcase the game at upcoming events, e.g., cons, PAX, etc.?
Off-Kai Expo. Yeah. We are going to have a booth at Off-Kai in San Jose in June once again. We'll
I'll be
there.
there.
Yes. Yeah, we will be there. Addie will be there. I think it's gonna be
Circle as
maybe
well.
our only. Yes, Circle will be there too. We're all gonna be there. I think our only North American con for this year. The only other con that we have lined up right now is V Expo in the UK in September. So 2 VTuber cons.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
No cons until this year, where I'm in both of them.
When you're in all of them. Yeah, exactly.
Also, I have a special announcement from Mo Eki. To everyone who sent in encouragement such as compliments instead of questions, thank you. Thank you all so much. And yes, Mimo is a hat. the best kind.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just like put Mimo on my head. She's well balanced for it.
She really is. Like she just takes up a good little spot on the desk, and that's where I'm like, that's where Rain's gonna go. Just right alongside
I'm so
her.
looking forward to Rain. I'm so looking forward to my little plushie.
Yeah, same. We've gotten a recent like picture of the prototype, and it's coming along really cutely.
Yeah. Can guarantee high quality, high
Bro,
quality
scan
Rain.
me. Hats off to. Oh, you redeemed to take the hat off. There we
Mimo
go.
to someone else.
Oh, hang on. I can try. It's a little. Hang on. Let me pull this. No, she vanished off the screen. Hang on.
She went wherever your model went.
Why? My everything just my proportions. Everything just keep changing. Where did she go? Oh, found
Oh,
her.
no.
Wait. Can I get her? I can get her onto Addie's head. Hang on.
Voting Mimo works too. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yes!
There we go. She's with you now.
Perfect.
Yes, this is my daughter.
It's like the other picture of the Mimo plushie riding a bird that you have.
Oh yeah, I have a photo of Mimo riding a chicken.
Very good sticker in our server, or not our server, but yeah.
This photo was taken in Wellington. I can say that.
Oh, how was visiting there though? You guys like did that like while working on Please Be Happy, right? Or was like
You say guys as if it's plural. It was just me.
Well, how was that? How's that?
I love Wellington. I mean, like I went there first, and then I decided to put it in Please Be Happy because I'm actually from New Zealand. Like I was living in Auckland for quite a significant part of the Please Be Happy development. So it's just kind of like a close to home, but not quite kind of thing. And my friends live in that city, so I would visit.
Oh, that's
and I'd be like, "This is so nice when it's not raining." One of my first visits to Wellington, it was raining the entire time, so we binged the entirety of Persona 5 in a week.
That sounds like a great way to spend it, though.
It was a good time. But yeah, should we watch it?
Yeah,
Should
are
we
we
do?
ready to pull it all up and be ready for it?
I think so.
I'm ready.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Let's mute the music. We don't need multiple things playing at the same time. That would be awful. Let's go. Bloop bloop. I'm just adding in the frame really quick. I had a breakup, so my computer. Oh no, it's covering Mimo. That's okay. She'll be covered by it. That's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
I don't think I was.
No, I think you're
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then let us begin. 3, 2, 1. Boop.
願い。もう来るななんて言わないで。安江にもっと会いたいの。
この世界に初めて来たのがむしろほのかのような人でよかったわ。
私はいつもどんなに些細なことでも世の中を正したいって思ってる。
あの生活を裏で支えていたものを知ってからは自分の手が血で汚れているように思えてならなかった。結構よ。私を憎みたければ憎めばいい。
Wait. What? That soon? That soon? Oh my gosh. Also, some of these thumbnails are buff Blissey. Okay.
See you in June, everyone. No, so stay here.
Yeah, no, stay here. We're not done.
We're not done.
That's
Yes,
insane.
we are releasing
leave
a Tithe and Blood this year in June. We are on track. No delays this time.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're confident in this time.
Yes. Depending on your time zone, it is either June 16th or June 17th. So
The joys of time
American-
zones.
yeah, the American time zone June 16th, and I live in Korea, so Korean time zone June 17th.
Wait, what is it? You missed it, Weeb? You missed it? Okay, you went back, you saw it, okay. No, I was like, normally I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty, I'm so excited, but I was like, I don't want to like actually like talk over any of like the voice acting or anything, and then June popped up, I was like, oh, I can't hold back anymore, that's so soon.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
that's our special announcement for the stream, June 16th, so only a couple months away.
Oh, we're gonna be, because isn't that also when the Rain comes out? The Rain, Upwards Rain, like is getting like the re-release is also June? Or is that July?
Or maybe it's July. I think it's early July.
It's close to it.
Or something like that. But a lot of Elan this year, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
Rain
we
is
have so much
July
stuff coming up.
1st.
Oh, good. That was announced. I was like, oh no, did I actually totally say something that I wasn't supposed to? Okay.
Oh.
But yes, we are so excited.
That's
Someone else
yeah.
in the chat will be English voice acting too. Not currently planned. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh,
I saw the question.
No, you're so listen. You guys are the ones who like have like all the information. I'm just here to host it. That's how I feel. So yeah, absolutely. Like, cut me off whenever you need to. It got announced with the plushie. No, I remember that it got announced with the plushie. I just didn't remember the exact date.
When it was happening, I was in the back end putting things like public and stuff. Listen, I was a bit distracted.
And
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of everything that's gone out and hasn't gone out.
yeah, and remember, during all of that, we were all just screeching the entire time. We were too excited. So, but no, this summer we're gonna be like getting fed so well. We got Tithe and Blood, we got Rain, like back to back months. That's insane. Oh my gosh.
And those probably won't be our only releases for the year either. We should have at least one other thing hopefully coming out later this year too. So it's a very busy year for us.
Do you want to spoil it? Do you want to drop it?
Yeah, it's not really a secret. We're hoping to have Lock and Key out later this year. You know, we're doing the Kickstarter very soon. Holy cow! Looking at the calendar, very soon. And yeah, we're aiming to have that out towards like the last quarter of this year. Remains to be seen exactly when, but that's the plan.
Oh.
So yeah, 2025 is the year of Elan.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because like getting through, because the like fourth quarter of this year is not that far after like these would be getting released. So it's like just back to back, a little tiny break, and then another one. That's insane.
Yeah. And then
We have more
Yeah, you know-
stuff coming in April, I think, but
Ooh.
I'll leave those as a surprise.
I'm so tempted to just say spoil it, drop it. I'd see if I could get someone to slip up with the spoilers.
you know, honestly, there's a non-zero chance it'll just happen anyway. So you just gotta be ready.
Fair,
I'm gonna
fair.
do this. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wanted to, no one would be upset.
Yeah, there's just like working on like a dozen things at the time is just like, wait, which one have we talked about? Oh no, I don't know.
Oh, that's like I get like confused because like I haven't even like published any like videos. Or like I get confused like which one have I told people I'm working on? I can't imagine how it is for you like after you like put like all these like updates for everything like on the Patreon, on like Twitter, on Blue Sky and everything, and then be like, what have we announced yet? That must be a lot. Oh.
Shout out to Aramia, who's also in
sure.
the chat for all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've never noticed the other I in Arima's name. I've always just pronounced it Arima. I'm good at reading.
Aremia. Yes, you can link the Kickstarter for Lock and Key. Please do.
Yes,
Yeah.
please
Thank
do,
you so much.
Tracy. You're always appreciated.
But yes, so the we have updated the demo, I believe. Let me just double check that on Steam.
Make sure it's that live. Yeah.
Make sure it's at live. But we have updated the demo and now it's got full voice acting. And if you can speak Japanese, you can play it in Japanese as well.
Yes.
So we were thinking of going through a little bit of that and just kind of giving you a preview of the voices in the game.
Yes. Let me pull that up for everyone, and then we can get started. Oh, yes, and thank you so much, Tracy, for pinning that. That is, I was actually about to ask if you could do that. Thank you so much. Boop, boop.
The Lock and Key team has been working really, really hard, and I'm so excited because I haven't read through the whole script. It's gonna be really fun, and it looks really good. And also, I have gotten confirmation that the new demo is live on Steam, but you want to go through it with us first, right, everyone?
Yeah, obviously. Everyone wants to stick around for this first, right? Oh, it's apparently re-downloading itself. That
Is that on your branch or?
Yeah, no, like it's the one that I got ready for the stream. It's just re-downloading. That's very weird. I think it might have been like maybe like updating it on Steam was like, here, we gotta push out another update for it, I think.
Maybe.
There we
Hopefully
go.
That we can just until it's done.
And the frames also moved. Man, everything's just falling
Oh,
apart. No, that's me.
There we go.
There we go. Yes, it is up. Oh, it's so exciting. Oh. And then so we went ahead and we were like, because one of the big parts of this demo update is the fact that there's the voice acting added in. So we went ahead and skipped a little bit of the beginning just to get to the part where the voice acting starts, just so that we could like kind of get like show you guys what it's all about, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Boop boop. Oh, whoa. An exception has occurred. Hello?
What?
No.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh, maybe because of the update. I think you should just skip through the start.
Yeah.
Screen.
That's
There's just a little bit of scuff everyone to hit it.
You can try hitting ignore and it might work, but
yeah.
might not.
There we
I
go.
think
Or
just put it
rollback?
in.
No, it did not work. Let's do
Okay.
rollback. No, it did not.
I think you gotta hit the.
The what?
Yeah, I think you just gotta start. I think you just gotta exit, re-enter,
Yeah.
and skip from the beginning.
Yeah, just quit out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. There we go. Okay, I was like, oh no, it's not closing out. This is a problem. But no.
It's on a stream without some scuff.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like if you've ever, especially here, I think I'm like the most scuffed VTuber out there. I will gladly put that crown on because something goes wrong every stream. It just happens. Like the fact that like stuff is just moving on the layout and I'm like, I haven't touched a button on it. I don't know what's going on. Oh.
Bender's Law. If anything can be scuffed, it will be.
Oh, exactly. I firmly believe that I have like Murphy's Law, not Milo Murphy. That's the TV show. Murphy's Law applies to me very strongly. It's to the point that even my friends are like, if something goes wrong in a day, that's a me moment.
A Mimo moment.
Yeah, I heard that too. Mimo.
All right, there we go. Yes, we can just start, and then yeah, we can just yap up until we get to the point. A Mimo mint.
Sounds good.
I'm watching through your Twitch link stream, by the way. So like, I'm not quite up to where you are, so you'll just have to let us know when we get to the point.
Okay, absolutely. Oh, and if you guys wanted, I could just try sharing the screen with you if that would work better. Or if you just want to stay on the Twitch side,
Oh.
that also works.
Maybe sharing the screen will work better. I'll just leave the chat up. for now,
I'll
I think
just
so.
really quickly do that. That would, because that would like just keep you guys all up to date, so that will work a lot better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Share your screen.
We're super prepared for this, everyone. You guys, most prep for stream ever.
For sure. Listen. We're handling it. I think we're doing great. Is it up for you guys? Is it working and looking good?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, there we go. Then yeah, we'll just skip on ahead through this stuff. Except I noticed while I was going through it the first time that there's like talking from like the broadcast, and I didn't remember if that was in the original demo, if that was updated for this, like when she's like listening to the news and stuff.
Oh, you noticed? Yeah, we did update those. We got the news reports and stuff. Like we wrote up text for it, well, Surika did, and then we got them translated and then voice acted.
Ooh, maybe while we're going through this, is there like any like special stuff that she's saying, or is it just kind of like, hey guys, the weather's pretty nice today?
I think it's the opposite, but something like that.
Naturally,
Yeah, it's
naturally.
Mostly talk about like winter and stuff like that.
We were finding like sound effect files on the internet, like free sound stuff, and like we found like one that sounded pretty good, but it was about how hot the summer was, and it was like, oh, no, we can't use it.
That is the complete opposite. Oh, Sil, you are approximately 36 minutes and 47 seconds late, so pretty on time.
Weeb says doesn't remember the road CG or path. Addy and Moaki did a lot of touch-ups to the backgrounds. So yeah, those have probably been improved from the original version.
Ooh. What kind of
remember
like
specifically.
other changes? Like, is like anything like saying like this scene that's been like changed or touched up or anything?
Not off
Most
the
of the
top of my
backgrounds
head.
have had a pretty big overhaul. Some of the directions
Yeah.
have flicked here and there.
Okay. You were about to say, yeah. But yeah, no, that's really cool because I'm gonna like have to like keep an eye out of being like, can I notice anything different from like the original? Because like the art in this was already like really good, and like I remember like stopping a lot to just like take it all in. So if like there's like changes to it, I'm like, I want to see those. Oh yes, and here we are for the trigger warning scene.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Someone asked how long this takes. We started this project in 2021, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like summer of 2021. So it's been a while.
It started in
Concepts for it have, like,
2021.
A few years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I figured like, you know, again, we were talking about it like just like the writing side alone, you know, it's like basically writing a huge novel, but like there's so much more that goes into it. So I'm like, honestly, that makes sense, but I'm still like shocked to hear that it takes that long.
There's also like concept stuff before then as well. Like, a couple of years of just sort of jotting down ideas until they kind of made a cohesive, oh, I can carry in my head now kind of moment.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And is this where the voice acting starts, if I'm remembering correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
Sweet. Awesome. I hate the heartbeats too. What do you mean? The heartbeats are great. I kind of like it.
You can turn them off. We have a special content management thing.
Ooh,
so you can
yes.
turn off the parts that you are not Gucci with.
There are a lot of extra options depending on like how you want to handle voices, how you want to handle like the trigger warning stuff, like however you want to experience it. There's a lot of options for that. But yeah, with that being said, let's experience some of the voice acting. I'm so excited for this.
Yes.
魔法が成功した。
That's Honoka. That's Honoka.
It's our girl.
It's her. It's her. I just remembered, just when we were going through the trailer, just Tracy was in the chat being like, "Oh my gosh, other people! There's so many people here." And it's like, yeah, yeah. I'll say hi to everyone.
The first time we like heard the like the audition lines for Hanako's voice actress, it was just like, oh my gosh, like this is Hanukkah. Like it was
Oh,
one of the easiest casting decisions we've ever made, in terms of like how perfect it was from the very beginning.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's really weird, like
Oh no, sorry, go
writing
on.
a character for years. It's like I've been writing that character for years and years. Like I've been in Honoka's head as a protagonist, and it was just so strange to hear the auditions come in. And it's like when we hit Toka Itsuki's audition tape, it's like, what? Honoka exists? Like after years of imagining her voice in my head, just this person
あら
just hit her voice so perfectly. It was
Oh.
incredible.
Sorry, Yasui's cutting you off. I apologize.
We gotta let her speak.
こんにちは安江さん元気そうで何よりです
前にも言ったでしょ安江でいいってせめて一人くらいは堅苦しいこと抜きでおしゃべりできる相手が欲しいの
じゃあ私のこともほのかって呼んで
It's so
Oh,
weird
Yasui's
having these
real.
scenes. Yeah, Yasui's so real now. Oh,
I
and
wonder if some poor soul had to make those shadow people, or if it's an app from a 3 thing. Yeah, we made it. Yeah, that was us.
And I really appreciate because like it does such a great job of just like adding like, how do I put this, like more like dimensions to the scene of being like, oh yeah, there's like a lot of things going on around here.
大丈夫
Thank you, thank you.
大丈夫少し疲れただけだから
Whenever I hear anyone speak, I'm like, I have to shut up.
That's exactly how I feel like it's like, well, like we want to be here to be like, look at all the amazing voice acting going on. I don't want to like actually talk over anyone. That'd be rude.
The shadow people in the backgrounds were inspired by how the crowds are done in Slow Damage by Nitro Charlo. I just want to point that out.
Oh. I don't think I've ever. Is that another visual novel?
It is, but it's a BL game, so I'm
Oh.
not sure if that's in your. But it's a really good game.
As long as it's a good story, I'm all here for it. That's all that I really care
ど
about.
こへ向かって
I really do like Slow Damage, so
Then I might have to
That's
check it
mine.
out.
there is no all ages version though, just so you know as well.
I might have to
You have to
check
get
it
it from
out
the-
and not stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a streamable game.
特に当てはないわ
Oh.
今日の公演が終わったから少し散歩しようと思ったの
My streamer brain keeps trying to take over and being like, oh, I need to read these, and it's like, oh no, we're letting them speak. Oh.
一緒に過ごせて嬉しいわ
Oh,
でも
I love
疲
these
れたら
girls.
すぐに行ってね
Mm.
隠そうとして
何もかも夢みたい札幌の街が100年前はこんな風だったなんて信じられない
遠い未来の方にはさぞ古めかしく見えるでしょうねどうしたの急に考え込んで
なんでもないここに初めて来た時のことを思い出していたの
あの時のほのかったら迷子の子猫のようだったわねこの世界を見つけてくれたのがあなたみたいな女の子だなんて思いもしなかったわ
This line changed since the previous version because it used to say like little lost lamb or something, and the Japanese translator said, oh, in Japanese it would be more natural to use the term kitten, so we decided to change the English to match the Japanese.
Oh.
Random side fact.
No,
There
I
were a
mean,
couple instances like that, yeah.
the
It's interesting, all the little tiny little details that you don't even think about when you're writing them, and then because obviously the translators are native Japanese, they're like, oh wait, this is slightly different to how we do it. So
The
there's a lot
curry
of
with
little
chopsticks.
moments like that. Yeah.
Eating curry with chopsticks.
wait, is that
That's
a
the one
wrong
weird
thing or
one.
is that right?
It's wrong. You're supposed to eat it with a spoon.
Oh.
Well, I mean, is there a wrong way to eat curry? But also, how do you pick up wet rice pellets with a chopstick, Suriko?
That's the thing.
No,
Like,
that's so
I always
fair.
just use chopsticks and like stick it into the rice.
It's just one grain at a time. It's the slow process, but it's a good process.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Japan and have cocoa curry again. I love that so much.
Cocoa curry? What is that?
Oh, if you
Cocoa
go to Japan,
Ichiban,
you've
it's the
gotta
name
have
of
it.
the chain.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like, is
Not
this like a
Cocoa
chocolate
chocolate.
curry? Like that sounds like it'd be just the worst.
So actually, unironically, whenever I make curry, like, I do put chocolate into it. It's kind of
Oh.
like a common ingredient. You add just like a little bit.
Really?
Not that you can like taste chocolate, yeah, but it just kind of like balances out the flavors with a little bit of sweetness. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm actually not making that up, although it does sound kind of crazy.
That does sound like just like think about like how curry, like at least all the curries like I've had is made. I'm like I could not imagine chocolate that, but like I guess like it's something to try.
Mm. Yeah, just like adding cocoa to chili, exactly.
I don't think I've ever
Just
done
rounds out
that
the flavors.
either, but I've heard of people doing that one. I just don't experiment enough with my
Mhm.
chocolate. I just get it, I'm like yummy.
It goes in my mouth before it goes
You
into
don't
my
like
food.
mixing it with meat?
Mhm.
What a crazy.
The wrong way to eat curry is by yourself. You should give me some. So true. So true.
Oh, and I love mole sauce. Yes, that is true. Mole sauce.
I
is
was reading
excellent.
that like mole as in the animal.
That's what I was doing too.
No,
Mole
it's like
sauce.
it's a Mexican sauce.
Oh.
Yeah, chocolate is like the main flavor, but it's not chocolatey. But it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's really really good though.
That sounds
Weird.
good. I want to eat it.
I'm starting to feel so uncultured. I'm like, I've never had chocolate with curry, chili. I've never even heard of Malay sauce. I'm like, I'm learning so many new things today.
最近はど
お
う平穏な生活を送っていると言っていたわね平穏そうかも大学に行って帰宅して夕飯を食べて寝るだけの変わり映えのしない毎日だから安江はこの世界は札幌だけで札幌の人しかいないんでしょ昔私たちがこの世界に封印された時ここは不変の世界となったと言ってもあなたが来るまでね長い歳月を経て現実世界から人が来た時は言葉にできないほど驚いたわがっかりさせたらごめんでも私にできるならあなたをこの世界から助け出したいの
Did you have something you wanted to say, Addie?
A couple of lines ago, it says she dresses traditionally. That's also changed. I just remember some of these things where it used to say she dresses formally, but in Japan, the style of kimono is actually not that formal, so we had to kind of change the wording to make it a little bit more accurate. So
That
just like small changes like that.
that is really interesting. How like, I guess like you're saying, like just to like fit in and like be like proper. I guess it's like you gotta go through and change some of the lines. That was kind of like what we're talking about like, with like how like much it is like kind of like translating getting the stuff done is like changing it so it fits like the actual like culture that it's coming from.
Yeah, it was interesting to be on the other side of like the localization process, like not just the translation, but like the actual like localizing to the culture and stuff. Yeah,
In particular,
Really
for Tib, it's a very
eye-opening.
culturally specific game. Like,
hmm
it goes into Meiji culture, bounces off between kind of the historical period and the modern period. So it's kind of nightmare mode. Trying to
Doing
make sure
visual
every little
research.
detail's correct.
Has been an adventure.
Yeah, it's been an adventure. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Like, just not to shill too hard, but seeing some of like the Patreon posts and just being like, yeah, like Yasui's like we kind of like inspire like some of these things for like a scene with her, like about from like these like kind of like images and like these outfits. It's like there's a lot of work that has to go into like getting this right, I guess is a good way to put it. You're dropping frames. Yeah, I also noticed like I think I'm running at like half of the frames, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm kind of like just a PNG now. I'm fitting in with the crew.
あなたは偉大な魔術師ではないでしょうけれど知り合いと本当に嬉しいと思っているのこの世界に初めて来たのがむしろほのかのような人でよかったわ
Oh, I wonder if it's maybe because you're screen sharing with us too. Is it maybe like too much bandwidth?
It's probably that. I've been checking on the actual like streams themselves, and they seem to be doing like their normal. I think it's just like me,
Oh, okay,
myself, and I that's like dropping frames. Unless I might be wrong. Like Twitch chat, how's it looking for you guys? Is it like running okay? Is it Twitch that's lagging, or is it just me that's lagging? Cause if so, then we might need to. If it's like damaging like the actual streams, we might need to stop the screen share. That'd probably be for the best.
Yeah, I'm on the Twitch stream and it does look a little bit laggy, I think. So I think stopping the screen share will be good.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I didn't think that like screen sharing would be that much, but I guess when we're already like multi-streaming it in a couple places, like I guess it does make sense. It adds up. Oh, I'm back again.
I was like, oh no.
Again, I'm such a Twitch grandpa. We were talking about this before stream, but like I do not know if things work. I thought I clicked to just disconnect like the stream from you guys, and it just got rid of me. Oh, they died. Well, no, we're back. We're back. We're good.
Oh no, everyone's dead.
Oh, I got rid of everyone at once. Oh no. See, that's what this stream was actually about. Stream seems to be back to normal. Let's go. That's all we're looking
okay,
for.
That's good. Yeah,
Sweet.
you'll just have to stop us whenever a girl is talking because they take priority.
Ooh, how do you guys want me to stop it? Just be like, everyone, shush, guys, shut up.
Yeah.
Stop now.
Just force mute us all, you know, to Discord or something.
Just like every 5 seconds, just like hit mute, unmute, hit mute. And then everyone died. The end. Oh.
一つ聞いてもいいかしら。答えたくなければ無理にとは言わないわ。ええ。ほのかはおいくつかしら。あれほどの術
I know for some streamers it's really nice to have the dialogue, like the voice dialogue, just so you don't have to like you can take a break from reading out loud and save your voice a little bit.
See, and like the way I typically do it, because I've read through the most of like the Fate visual novel, and it's all like in Japanese, so I tend to just like read it like right alongside it, just and then for everyone who like wants to use it as kind of like an audio book kind of thing. But like I'm always like, is this the best way to do it? Because then you can't really hear the voices as well, you know?
Yeah, I think it's quite tricky. I know a friend of mine like just mutes the Japanese voices to read out the lines for people to work to, but I personally like enjoy the voice acting so much if it's in Japanese, so it's like, oh man, that's like really tricky.
See, I don't think I'd want to like mute them, because like especially like if I'm like, oh, I can tell this is a big scene, I'll be like, all right, I'll let them read it, then I'll read it, just so then everyone can like experience it and no one's like kind of like left out, I guess.
I think basically the answer is that everyone should just become bilingual and learn Japanese.
No, you're so true. You're so true. You should also read Twofold, promote the Twofold streams. Yes, I do. I actually stream that one. And on that one, we just listen to all the characters yap. So I don't need to read for them.
After we started putting voice acting into our games, it's just been so hard to like not do it anymore. Like obviously we have budget constraints and stuff, but it just brings so much.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like working with our voice actors.
So much character is like conveyed through, like, not only do you guys like tend to like work with like incredible voice actors and actresses, but like they just convey so much of the character through the voices. I'm like, I couldn't imagine some of them like not with the voices.
Yeah.
The other day we were all playing through Highway Blossom's Next Exit together, and it was just like, man, Jill Harris is incredible. Like, she's so good.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, but like, it's just like Jill, like her performance as Marina and Next Exit in particular is so like emotionally resonant. It's like, oh man,
He also voices Millie, which is just incredible job there.
Yeah.
And Tommy from Please Be Happy, so that's some crazy range.
Ooh.
And also Coffee Girl in Heart of the Woods.
You had the coffee girl from Heart of the Woods.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's also Selena from the what is it? The Witch and Mercury English dub. Just
Yeah.
Oh wait, really? I had no idea.
Yeah, the I think.
Wait, that's the Gundam show, right?
Yeah, it is. Mia Rine, her voice actor, I think is
Natalie Sistine. Yeah,
who's also been in a couple of our games too.
That's Eve in National Park Girls. And I don't remember what other
Elowen
roles she's
in
had.
Without a Voice.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And she also voices the bit characters in Please Be Happy, the like side in chapter
Oh
1.
yeah, that's right. The security guard that doesn't
Yeah.
sign on.
I don't even remember what they say, but I can just like imagine the voice in my head during that scene. That's I had no idea. That's so funny.
Stop!
Yeah.
Oh.
Our voice director Scion does a lot of the like the bit voices in Please Be Happy and some of our other games. So like every
Mhm.
time he comes up, it's just like a jump scare. Like hearing his voice, like oh, that's Scion. It's just like very very distinctive to us.
Well, especially because like I'm assuming that you like talk with them like more frequently than like we hear him. So it's like
exactly.
it's like, oh, I know that voice. I know that person personally. Oh.
Yeah. It's like in Please Be Happy, he voices the there's the painting teacher in that one Lena scene.
Mhm.
That's Scion, and one of the security guards at the start, and I don't even remember who else, but yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
It's just like you get to the credits, like here's like the main characters, and then every other voice, Scion.
Literally though, yeah.
Oh.
I think a lot about how like every voice. I think in Oblivion is by like 2 people, right?
I think it's like 3 or 4 at most. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's just so funny to me. Just like the same person popping up everywhere.
The voice acting in Oblivion is so iconic too. So,
It
yeah.
is. Especially since like all the lines that are iconic are like the same guy doing it, so you can really be like, it's just the same person popping up over and over. Oh.
Voice acting is beautiful.
Ion Cinematic Universe. Exactly.
So one of these days we just gotta make a visual novel that's just all Scion. Just gotta put off falsetto for like all the main characters and everything. It'll work so well.
It's all Scion.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, hang on. That would be a banger April Fool's joke. Just like put it like a 5-second kind of thing, like a minute long trailer or something like that. Be like, it's all Scion, and they just voice every like character.
Scion, voiced by Scion, produced by Scion. It's like that Mark Jacobs meme, but Scion instead.
Addy and PBH.
Basically.
You just get to the credits and it doesn't even like say what roles or like what the Scion did. It's just Scion.
It's like
Yuri
the
Paddle
role of Scion is Scion.
Hear me out, Yuri Paddle Scion voice.
Scion voice. Like, that, don't give him any ideas.
But that'd be so good though. Listen.
Film self theory.
That would have
voiced
been a
by
really
Scion.
great April Fool's joke, actually, to just like be like, hey, Yuri Paddle's now voiced.
It's all Scion.
It's fair.
If only to make him have to read out those stem cell theory lines exactly.
The best part of that would be is if Scion just did like their neutral normal voice for every character. Like they didn't even like change it up or anything. It's just Scion, like just normal speaking for everyone. Yeah. Wait, maybe Highway Blossoms becomes goofball mode? Yeah, let's just redo an entire huge visual novel with them. Oh, that'd be great. Also, we have a new Alon theory. The universes of the games are all connected through Scion. Thoughts?
You know, it's not entirely wrong if we're going. Yeah.
Oh.
Also, back
Okay.
from doing the dishes, did I hear Mia Arena? Yeah, I was just mentioning that Natalie, who does some work in our games, voiced Mia Arena because we were talking about Jill Harris and Selena.
Yeah.
But it would just be like it would just be like the Spider-Verse where the only consistent across every universe is Scion. That's it.
Oh, this background. It's tricky.
Which background was the most pain?
Oh, it's one that's not in the demo, but by far the downtown city one.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh
That's
my
fair.
god.
I know what you're talking about.
The the runner-up, actually we've shown it in some of the like character intro pictures, I think, is Tatiana's bar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's something for you guys to chew on. Tatiana has a bar.
Did you want to talk about why like this background was like so hard to do? Because like I'm curious to know that.
So basically any cityscape has just an insane amount of like detail.
That's fair.
And so, you know, between like shop signs, buildings with like windows, and also because it's set in Sapporo in the middle of winter, making sure the snow looks accurate. Roads. Also, we commissioned like backgrounds, but we had to do some work on it as well. But like, you know, Japan drives on the left-hand side of the road. But the background we got, the car was on the wrong side of the road, so I had to change that. And just like a lot of things, and then trying to make it all feel like accurately like Sapporo, without being too specific, like so that it's not like you got that road wrong. It was just like a whole lot of these factors that made it really, really like painful.
That I get like stuff like with the cars on their side of the road. I'm like, if I was drawing it, I never would have caught it. Never would have thought about it. It would just go into the game that way.
It helps because 3 of the like core members we're in like former British colonies, or or former current. I'm not sure.
That's Commonwealth.
But we like British colonies often drove like on the left side of the road, so it's like I'm aware of this, and so when I was looking in the background, I was like, wait a second, I know something about Japan that doesn't align with this background.
See, I think because I know about it, I just never would have like thought about like, oh yeah, I should make sure I get this right. Also, we're having a suggestion that we should add a chair shop and make Theo draw it. Is that something we can do?
No, we're done with the backgrounds. We're done with them. We're finished. No, don't bring us back there.
But like, think about it. What's one more? You know, just one more.
Theo just got a headache.
Theo would love it.
The backgrounds they did for Upwards Rain are actually so nice. So like I really
they're
love
so
the
beautiful.
style for
yeah.
those. Yeah.
The updated ones, everyone, you have to go buy it. Shill.
No, absolutely,
Make sure you
shill.
Yeah.
Please
Please
do.
be wishlisting.
Please be wishlisting.
Oh my god! Hey, if you guys do, you'll see a little extra someone. I haven't had a chance to talk about this because I got sick after it was announced. But you'll see a little extra someone that you know in the background of Upwards Rain. So absolutely wishlist it, please. Thank you, Addie. Thank you so much for the link.
Anytime.
Wait, Theo
chairs
hates...
are just evil. Sorry?
No, I was just reading that out. Like, Theo hates drawing chairs? What?
I think so some of those chairs in Please Be Happy were also quite frustrating. I used quite a few like, do you know those like interior design programs that people use to plan out their houses and stuff? I used those quite a bit to like get the perspective for the background, and even then it's just so frustrating to draw chairs. Really? Like, because it's just like a bunch of like, you know, like, I guess it depends on like how you're doing the legs, but it's just, you know, a bunch of like squares and triangles. So I would have figured that would be like triangles from. I mean, not squares and rectangles. Listen, just a very unique chair. You know, got all the shapes in there. A very painful chair. Yeah, the worst one you could find. See, it's the seat that's the triangle. You know, it's meant to be uncomfortable. Yeah. But yes, I did make Juliet's house in The Sims 4. I wish I still had that save file to send to people, but yeah. But so the difficult thing with chairs is that you would think that the chairs go straight down from the seat part, which would make it a box, but actually the legs tend to be angled slightly. As well as the back, so it's not straight up, or else it'd be a very uncomfortable chair. It's actually leaning back slightly to fit the curvature of your back. Yeah. And then more detailed chairs also have curves, so drawing curves and perspectives is quite difficult. And in having like rounded objects like cushions or the seat front is actually quite curved and stuff. So like you can do like a bad looking chair quite quickly, but doing a nice looking chair is really, really difficult. And
Yeah.
also, like eyeballing the like how tall the back of a chair is compared to the length of the legs of the chair and making it look natural with the characters and stuff like that. There's a lot of consideration when it comes to drawing chairs and backgrounds.
It kind of sounds like the issue of like drawing hands, where like you can draw one part of the hand right, but because there's so many like individual components to a small thing, messing up one of those kind of throws off the entire thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You think it's a bunch of tubes, and then you're like drawing it, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, then you put it together, it's like, wait, one of these tubes is wrong, and it makes it all look wrong.
Yeah.
Joys. That's why whenever I see even like simple hands, I'm like, what a master at work. This is beautiful.
It's difficult. Furniture is hard to draw, especially if you want it to look handmade. Yes, I will
Yeah.
say beds are easy to draw though. Beds are easy.
Yeah, because those ones are really just, here's a rectangle for the bed frame, maybe. You know, those are
But
very
also,
easy.
You're allowed to be slightly wrong because of the mattress and the fabrics, making it so that making it look slightly wrong makes it look more correct.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're putting like sheets and blankets on it, you can like do a lot of like quote unquote like incorrect stuff just to like make it look more natural.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of kinds of beds. So some beds are difficult, but the most basic kind is doable. What is really difficult are windows.
Yes, fully agree. But would you like to expand on that?
Sure. I've drawn lots of backgrounds. Windows are not flush against the wall. So if you think it's just drawing a rectangle on the wall, you are wrong. It is beveled in or outwards. It has I don't actually know the phrase like terms for it, but you know like the outside parts that like kind of stick out a little bit, window sills, and in the frames themselves, they also have like little offsets and stuff. And there's just so many you have to do. Yeah. And if you want to make the spacing for like each window panel correct, you have to do a whole bunch of guidelines to make that correct as well. And then the outside of the window that you kind of need to vaguely draw in, but not with too much detail, but you got to draw it right enough so that the perspective doesn't look too raw. That's also another consideration you have to have, and it's difficult. Windows.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the window right behind Yasui, and I'm like, oh, the amount of grid lines you'd have to do for that. That is not fun.
Suriko is in the voice chat with us and not posting in the stream chat.
Yes.
Envelopian is one of the staff on the game, though. Also, I love like Yasui getting a little bit like like those face is so cute.
Yeah, because it's not even like too big of a pout. It's just like a very slight, subtle one. It's very cute.
How?
You guys do different expressions for these characters? Were they all from Kobu?
No, we did some of these. This pout and I Squint, I believe, was us.
I was gonna say that seems like an Addy Moaki face.
When you're drawing the expressions for the characters, like how hard is it for you to like replicate, I guess, like Kobuta's style? Because I'm assuming that you have to like get good at doing that to like, draw the expressions, right?
Yeah. So
Addy's got a lot of practice.
I've gotten a lot of practice throughout Please Be Happy, so it's not too difficult, I think.
Okay.
Especially because it's like small parts. I think for artists that have really complicated ways of doing specific things, especially like big anime eyes, it can get quite difficult doing eye variants. But I can do it. It's something I know how to do.
You do it very well, because I didn't even like, if you had just told me that they were all drawn by Kobuta, I was like, yeah, that just makes sense. I was like, you can't really tell.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've worked on a lot of projects where I've had to mimic other people's art styles and stuff, so trying to like figure out how they got to a certain result is something that I'm quite used to at this point. Expressions are so hard though, which is why I draw my characters mask only. I think expressions are hard, but they add so much value. So it's just something that we really want to do quite a lot of.
Yeah, that's why, like, even using like a Marvel movie as an example, that's where like we need Spider-Man's eyes to move, because like just having that like adds so much like life to the character.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and thank you so much. We hit a follower goal. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that
yay,
that just
congratulations!
jump scared me.
Wait.
I was like, suddenly there's alarms going off in my ear.
I'm so sorry I wasn't following you. I'm following you now.
No, you're so fine. It's all good. Do not worry. Oh, thank you so much, Addie, for the follow. Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Oh my gosh, another. It always jumps because like I always like forget about the fact that I have like notifications like that turned on. So whenever it happens, I'm like always so into whatever like I'm doing that it is genuinely like a jump scare. I think for Halloween I'm gonna change all my alerts to screams. That'd be so fun.
Oh gosh.
Don't forget to subscribe and give the video 5 stars. Yes, please give us all 5 stars.
Like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Thank you all for doing my plugs for me. Thank you.
Listen, fair is fair. You've promoted our games for us.
You know what?
So much.
That's so fair. We just do it for each other. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know. Oh.
ならちょうどいいわ。今試してみましょうよ。
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, my cat. It's like a long-standing thing. Whenever I'm in like a voice call, she gets really energetic because I think she thinks I'm like talking to her, and she just went like charging across me. It took me by surprise.
No, that's so fair. Like 9 times out of 10, if I'm in a voice call with somebody, the cat's going to attack them. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's.
like they know.
Oh, they really do. Also, I've fixed the frame. We are good. There we go. Not me running tech support while we're going. It's fine. We got it.
A really capricious frame.
Wait, you really what?
It's a really capricious frame and likes to jiggle around a lot.
Oh yeah. Everything's just here moving, being a hard time. So I've been slowly like trying to like adjust things as we're going. Mimo got stapled to the game. Well, Mimo's like technically on Addy. Hang on, how does Mimo? You know what? Mimo's a part of a Tithe and Blood now. It's fine.
It's a cameo.
Exactly. See, you got that.
Crossover.
That wasn't supposed to be spoiled yet, but yeah, Mimo is starring in A Tithe and Blood.
Yes, to be pressuring underage drinking.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
Major channel demonetized.
You know what? I don't know if Twitch cares too much about that. I think we're fine as long as we don't draw too much attention to all the underage drinking going on, you know?
That's fair. That's fair.
Siriko really likes to put underage drinking into.
But technically, this isn't underage. It's just underage by American standards.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair,
Wait,
fair.
what's the drinking age for Japan?
20, I think.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. I thought it was like 20 or 21. Is it kind of like how it is like because in America you need to be 18 years old to drink, but you need to be 21 years to buy alcohol? Is that kind of how it also works in Japan, where you need to be a certain age to buy it and another age to drink it, kind of thing?
That's same age to buy
Okay.
and drink.
See, that makes sense.
So
I
do
think
a
that
check
makes
in convenience
sense.
stores.
I remember when I first went to America, the drinking age in New Zealand is 18, like buying and drinking. And I went there. I went to like a supermarket with like an American girl who was like 20 something, and she was like, "What if I bought you this bottle of wine? Oh no, your mom would kill me." And I was like, "No, I don't think you're
Oh, that's so. Being hit with your mom would kill me. I'm like, oh no, oh gosh.
When I was 18, yes.
Oh, not gonna lie, I love the idea of Mimo cameos because girl is so old she has been around. Hang on, you're cooking. You're cooking. Oh, that would actually be so fun. We have to go back and update all the past games and just be like, here's a Mimo. There's one in every game.
Also, correct. The beer picture was not there before. This is a new cut-in that we've drawn.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Beer.
って本当にいいの？私、
Something quite popular in New Zealand is ginger beer. I don't know how internationally popular that is, but I don't like the flavor of ginger, so.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I
Same.
do also prefer root beer.
It
Is
is
there a
better.
restaurant scene? There's a scene in a cafe, right? And there's like the izakaya scene. I don't know if there's like a full like restaurant scene though.
I guess it can't. It's like, I mean, this is like a izakaya.
This
so
is like
this is a
yeah,
restaurant.
yeah.
There's another izakaya scene later on as well. So.
あら、自分の誕生日を祝いたくないの？そうじゃないの。ただ。ごめんなさい。押し付けがましかったかもしれないわね。新しい方が来
The
るなん
girls
て
are talking.
本当に
I hope they're having a good time.
いつかあなたを失うかもと思うと少し怖いの。約束する。これからもできるだけここに来る。この世界はタイムカプセルみたいで、学生としても興味があるし。そういうわけだから飲もう。
Oh, I haven't thought about
私
the
の誕
history
生
of
日の
beer.
ためじゃなくて、二人の約束のために。
Oh no, do we need? Is that something that we need to start delving into? Is the history of beer?
History lesson.
There's a couple of things I actually had to go into academic white papers for to find answers around. One of them was the difference in beer between the Meiji era and the modern era.
Oh.
And I actually found
Ooh.
the taste of beer has changed significantly. So it used to be quite a lot more bitter, and nowadays it's much more smooth.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. Also, just like shows like the kind of research you need to do when you're like writing stuff like this. Like we talked about that earlier, but like the fact that you had to like actually like delve into like that kind of like research is like that's really cool.
Trying to find kabuki materials was a pain. It was so difficult.
Oh, gosh. It's kind of, I'll just write this, we'll just draw it out. It's like, no, it did not work like that at all.
Oh my gosh.
Was it like a big challenge for like all the characters? Like was there like one that was like more of a challenge than the others?
Sorry, I just spaced off. Could you repeat that?
It was when like setting like kind of like getting like the character designs with Kobuta figured out, was there like one character that was like harder to like find like the kind of
Oh.
references for, or was like everyone kind of like around the same?
Character designs I think weren't too much of an issue. We mostly just trusted
Yeah.
Kobuta's expertise with Japanese culture.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of put together a few references of like more a general direction to the character, and then Kobu kind of put that together into something that's historically fitting as well as culturally accurate.
Oh, that's really cool.
The difficult stuff is like the events in the story where it's
Yeah.
quite like going to this izakaya and making sure the background works when it kind of evokes a proper Meiji feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of doing a historical visual novel. It really makes you appreciate why fantasy settings are much more common. Historical is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
every detail is like so important to get right. It's like, oh, why did I do this?
Also, the sleeves for the kimono are a pain, or just like kimono in general are really painful to draw, and it's really hard to find good references.
Really, I would imagine like they'd be like not any more difficult than anything else to find references for.
So something fun about kimono sleeves is that this circle, the gap in them, only goes halfway down. Sometimes it kind of depends, and so like sometimes it folds over your arm, but only up to the point where the gap begins and stuff. And so like the way that the arms interact with the sleeves and the hole in the sleeves, and in the long trailing part afterwards, is difficult.
Well, like you said, the folds are really unusual.
Yeah.
Oh, and folds are already kind of like at least for me like a hassle to draw. So if like they're especially unusual, it's like oh no.
And then we have to draw the like patterns on top of that and stuff. It was
Oh
for
yeah.
the CGs, yeah.
Fun times.
こ
Who is your personal favorite character design you've made? So the characters for A Tithe in Blood were designed by Kobuta. What's my personal? It's a game that's not out yet for my OC. She's got green hair and purple eyes.
Ooh. I was
Also, maybe
about
Curiosity from Summer, if people want to get a long character.
Oh, I do like Curiosity.
Yes, Curiosity.
That's my little child. Actually, Curiosity was saved from a university project that I worked on. Different color scheme, but I was just like, I love this robot and I want to bring this robot back. And when I saw it opening in summer, I was like, I'm gonna shove you into this game.
Curiosity is so unfair. They're already with Quinn, and I'm like, they're my favorite. So putting them together, it's like, no, this is so unfair. This is not even fair to all the other characters. Oh.
Double whammy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For the character designs, Moki did bring up a good point where we did help out quite a bit with the designs. Where like we made like Picrew, the avatar maker website.
Yes.
We would like use that to kind of get like inspiration and designs, and sometimes we draw over them, and quite a few of the designs quite overlapped quite a bit with what we ended up getting at the end.
Oh, that's really. I never even thought about like using Picrew. Like it's just like, hey, let's just make a cute little picture, but being like taking inspiration from that, like that is like a really good idea.
Yeah, it's really good for giving artist references because you can get pretty specific through Picrew about.
And from an artist point of view, being like, this person has straight cut bangs with side strands that go up to their shoulder. Like, it's really, really hard to parse all of that compared to just seeing a picture.
Yeah. Picrew is so handy for character designs. Yeah, no, for sure.
そういうわけだから飲もう。私の誕生日のためじゃなくて。2人の約束のために。
Funky ass real. Just looking at the screen. Definitely like character design is I think one of the funnest parts about developing a game. The hard part comes afterwards.
Oh, really? Like, I would have thought, not to keep saying it'll be like, oh, I guess I thought it this way, but like, I always would have assumed that like actually like pinning down, like making how the character looks would be like really hard.
I
I think it's a very creative.
sorry?
I think it's like a very creative part of the process compared to later in production where it's like you've got this wall of assets you're trying to create.
Yeah. I think the points where you can put forth new ideas and stuff is always the most exciting because it's kind of like the potential of the whole thing. But but like actually having to make that a reality, because like coming up with ideas is quite quick actually, like maybe like a few days and stuff. But then actually having to put into the work to make like one illustration is like 3-4 days, 5 compared to like sketching out a character, which might take like a couple hours at most.
That's fair. Like, how many, when you're like actually like going through like designing characters, how many like drafts do you like go through for the characters? Be like, let's try this idea, let's try that idea, kind of thing.
It's so dependent on the character.
It'll sometimes be like the same like design, but like different hairstyles or something. Like only a couple details are changed, for example.
Yeah, when we worked with Kobuta for Please Be Happy, for example, we did like a written description, not a drawn one.
Yeah.
But like Kobuta nailed the feeling of the character and basically the first concepts. I don't know how long it took for them to get to that stage, but then it's just like different hairstyles, slight variations of the outfit. We picked 1 or 2, and then it kind of came together quite quickly.
That's fair, because like that I was kind of bring that up of like in like especially like some of the art books I've gotten, it's like from you guys, it is very much like here's like a character, here's like slight alterations to them. So like they like again, like you said, like the spirit of the characters is like really good to get nailed down.
a couple of hours is still a long time. Not in game development.
That's very quick in game development. If only everything took that long.
So while working on the assets for A Tithe and Blood, Moike and I have been watching through the Buffy series,
Ooh.
which you might know is 7 seasons long with like about 22 episodes in each season. I think it's like 144 episodes long with like 40 minutes every episode. We finished Buffy and the game's not out yet, so.
And yes, we now have the Pacrus up on screen for Asui and Honoka. And yeah, no, like, you can definitely... Hang on, let me just move it out of the way so you guys can see the similarities better. There we go. Boop, 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 boop.
Mm-hmm.
These are so cute. Oh my gosh.
It's interesting how, like for Honoka as well, I think, like, the Picuru has if you write it down, all the same traits as the final Honoka, but like the Honoka we ended up getting has a sort of like haunted look about her that I think like fits her character really, really well. Yasui's beauty mark has moved. It's under her eye instead of by her.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at that. I'm like, oh, what a... Was there like any deep meaning behind that, or is it just kind of like, oh, we like it more up here?
I think it was that.
Yeah. Sometimes a blue curtain is just a blue curtain.
Yeah, I like the the Picuru Yasue. We actually have Yasue with bangs as one of the concepts, but we kind of ended up liking the swept away style in the end. But let me see if I can find that for you. A little thing to show off on
Yes,
stream.
please do. Thank you. Because just like getting like little extra things like the Pacrus that inspired the characters, I'm like, this is so cool.
I might try and find. We had some experimentation with Tatiana when Kabuto was making her, and she actually went through quite a few different like, experimental hairstyles until we nailed the one that.
I've got them in my folder. Do I? Yeah, I do. I do have them in my folder, so I'll post them there. Oh, I forgot about some of these. They're so good.
These do look amazing. Boop, boop, boop.
What was easy to draw at this point? It seems like everything was not. I mean, like...
Art's hard.
Art's hard. There's a couple of CGs I think were on the easier side to draw. I don't want to spoil them. Yeah. It's usually like close-ups, things that focus more on the faces. Those are easier to draw, and then high action poses and stuff are more on the difficult side.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to show off some more of these.
Yes.
Yasue with bangs. Yeah.
Do. I'm pulling up the one for Kaoru. Is that how you pronounce her name? How do you pronounce that?
Kaoru.
Kaoru? Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot nicer.
Ito Kaoru is her full name. Yeah.
And then this is Tatiana, I believe, correct? I say as I don't have her up yet. There we go. Ooh, we're just turning into an art show now. Oh my gosh, we look so fancy.
This is what the div stream is about, right?
Oh no, for sure. I'm loving this personally. So. And then we have
Tatiana probably changed the most from the pick crew to the final.
Yes, I'm actually pulling up another version of her now. There we go. And I believe that we have one more to pull up.
His name is not up for debate how it's pronounced. It's a Japanese name. Just say it.
No, it's a name. It's pronounced a certain way. Yeah. Let me get.
Yeah, Tatiana hairs are really, really cool. I think about the AU with A. Actually, I say that, but I said earlier that I forgot about these, so you will know that I'm lying.
There
I
we
think the
go.
original concept we went back to Kabuto with for Tatiana was slicked back hair. We kind of tried out a few options, and I think we ended up going in with Kabuto's suggestion, which was C.
Yeah.
And then I'm also just gonna quickly put up a picture of Kaoru. That's how you pronounce it, right? I'm very bad with these. And Tatiana. Kaoru.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's good. Yes, bangs. It really gives us such a different impression of Yasue if she has bangs or not, I think.
I like how open her face is without them. Really suits her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me get
I think
those.
the bangs also makes her feel quite young compared to like no bangs, which gives more of a mature impression.
Yeah, no, agreed. I didn't even think about that, but you're so right. Let me
Thank you
just pull these
so
up
much
so then.
for impromptu putting up all of these pictures.
Of course, absolutely. Wrong one. I have too many Kaorus now.
Bang the hair in front of your face, so like the stuff that covers your forehead.
Wait, can you repeat that? I definitely just zoned out for a brief moment.
Oh no, it's we got a question. Someone in chat is like, I don't know what bangs are. Bangs are the hair that covers your forehead, basically.
Yes. Also,
Like
one day
strands.
I want to be as cool as she is. Kaoru. She's so cool. We're just gonna be covering everyone for just a second while we're talking about the characters.
And just that tiny little drunk Honoka in the background.
There we go. Tatiana, there we go. Now we're all covered by beautiful art. She is gender incarnate. So real for that.
I feel like Kaoru is like Miho from another world. Sometimes.
Oh.
Like, oh yes.
Yeah. It is like you really like the character. Like obviously, like the designs like bleed over so well. Like you can really see like how you guys took like the inspiration from these designs, but then like changed it and interpreted it to like still make it like a very unique thing from like the Pikru inspirations. That's interesting. Also, yeah, Tatiana she changed a good couple times and a lot in the hair.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love Tatiana.
Was there
I might be pronouncing her name wrong because I don't speak Russian.
No, that's so fair. I also like heard her voice and was like, was that Russian in there? I'm so glad I was right.
Yes, that is Russian, yes.
Yep,
Also,
we're so
Moki,
glad about Jenya.
no need to apologize. This is what we're here for.
The one in the suit is Tatiana. Her voice actor, Jenya, is Russian, and so she's helped us with the script a little bit. Thank you, Jenya.
Thank you for fixing my bad Russian.
All right. Should we be blocking these guys out and moving on with the demo? Sweet.
I think that sounds great.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh my gosh, room, space, we're free. We're unburied. That is still really cool though. Those are like some great images to have.
We will be documenting all of these in the art book. Everyone check it out.
Ooh, when's it dropping? When's it dropping?
I mean, with release. It's not made yet, but I will make sure it is made in time.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I keep waiting to like again to like try to get the spoilers, but it's like, but all these spoilers are so up and coming with, so it's like it's not really working. But I'm still getting the information I want.
今度飲みたくなったらまた付き合ってよ。喜んでご商売に預かりましょう。安江、伝えたいことがあるの。私が魔術師じゃないからよ。
I'm so
違って私は普通の人間なの。
I'm so sorry, Honoka. I did not mean to skip that line of yours. I apologize deeply.
でもならどうやってこの世界に？こちらへ。
All right. And with that, is that where we want to call it with the demo so we can move on over to the Q&A? How are you guys feeling about that?
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Then I'm just going to bloop.
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop.
If
There
you
we
want to
go.
see, just to everyone else, the first 3 scenes are all up in the demo, so you can get more of the voice acting on your own time if you play the demo.
Yes,
and it's all been one scene, so they're very long scenes.
oh yeah, if you couldn't tell off of that, that was basically all one scene that we went to. And yes, while we were yapping a little bit throughout it, but still, that was all just one scene. Also, I'm going to do a quick little scene change just so we could get the music back. There we go. Now the music should be restarting for us.
Nice.
Awesome,
Love
awesome.
to play the APU OST.
Oh, it's so good. It's probably one of my favorites out there. All right, let me pull up the questions for you guys.
Awesome.
Bloop, bloop.
There are some I think we kind of answered a couple of questions during the stream, such as like,
Yeah.
jumping
Oh,
around them.
I accidentally got rid of Josh. I'm so sorry. There we go. Bloop, bloop.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, one scene. That was all one scene that we went through. Cause like we were talking about it
Your
earlier.
screen is visible, just so you know.
Oh yeah. That's what I was going away. That's why I accidentally got rid of Josh, because I was like, oh no, I didn't want the sheet up. Oh no.
Just like, oh no. Yes.
But yeah, let's just go ahead and do this in order. But yeah, no, the full demo, when you're reading it all through without like yapping between, it's about an hour and a half. I mean, not an hour and a half, about an hour and 5 minutes, and so it's about 3 scenes. So it's a long one. Josh, elimination beam. Yes, I'm so sorry, Josh, but my power's too much.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
The first question that we'll be doing is, will the game be a kinetic visual novel with minimal choices, or will there be some choices for different fluff dialogue?
Maybe a kinetic visual novel, so basically focus on a linear narrative.
Okay. Do we have more than one ending? If so, is there one with bad, even the worst outcome? This kind of goes in line with the last question, but I feel like it still warrants asking.
Yep, one ending. So I can't spoil what that is, but yeah, just one ending.
And we kind of already answered when development began. So several non-VNs have or later received voice acting, but so far all of them are in English. How did you go about arranging Japanese voice acting this time?
Yeah, so I mean, this has been like a really interesting topic. I think when a lot of people have asked us if we are going to add English voice acting or not, and like basically for us, it's always been like either Japanese voice acting or no voice acting because of the heavy influence of Japanese culture in the story. So we managed to arrange the Japanese voice acting because of like just so much support from our partners at Re-Air, I can't pronounce this, and especially our localization manager and casting director Sarah Nelkin. We've received support with casting, localizing, voice acting, and audio mixing. Just every single step, they've been really, really wonderful to work with and helped guide us through the process.
Awesome. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that, or?
Everything for that question.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of Studio Lon's games have changed a lot between the first concept and what's released. Did A Tithe in Blood go through any big kind of change to its plot?
So there was some work around the ending of the game. I guess it happens with a lot of visual novels where you really need to stick to landing. So the ending took a lot of tuning, and everyone was involved in that, not just me as the writer. A lot of the input from the other developers really made the ending a lot better, so well done to everyone involved.
I gave Suriko a lot of stress because I pointed out some of these things like a week before it needed to be finalized.
It was an interesting one. It made the game better. That's the thing that's important. The game's a lot better thanks to everyone's feedback.
That's obviously for the best, but that sounds so stressful.
It's game development.
True.
I think in terms of like the biggest changes, most of the changes were actually in the, I guess you could call it pre-concept phase. So the first concept before I really hashed out the pitch with Josh was there was actually a magical girl story set in high school about bullying and ostracization. And I thought about that concept a lot, shuffled things around, tried to make it work, but it never really felt like a cohesive story. But the character of Honoka was really like the central thing in that concept that really stood out. And when I thought, hang on, what if I take this character and mold the story around depression and grieving as a theme instead? That's when that was that sort of eureka moment where a game suddenly goes from some ideas to a cohesive story. And that was really where Active started to take off, was once that theme was settled on.
That's really interesting, especially like because you mentioned that it would start off as like a magical girl kind of story, seeing like how it changed so drastically from the initial pitch, while like you mentioned like keeping like the core, like Hanoka being like the core idea the same throughout it. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's especially, I guess, like the magic side of it is kind of the through where we went, okay, well, the magical girl theme doesn't really fit this anymore, but we keep the magic, use the magic to emphasize the other themes that we're now doing, and just it all suddenly fell into place, sort of thing, once you worked out that direction for it.
That's awesome. That's really cool to hear. And then hang on. I'm so bad with names. Moeki wanted to add, there were some big changes to the ending, but can't talk about it as it's spoilers. Maybe after it comes out. So that's exciting. I can't wait to hear what the changes to the ending were.
A lot of this is the stuff that I mentioned where I was like 1 week before.
Oh,
1 week before it had to be finalized. I was like, hey.
Oh, truly the final hour of like, hey, we need it finalized. Let's change the ending, please.
Pretty much.
I think we could do like a Q&A post-release, and then we can be like, spoilers, everyone! Make sure you play the game before you watch.
Oh, that would actually be so fun to do, because like just getting any more like details, like that's what I like love a lot about doing these, is just like getting more behind the scene details on like all this kind of like developmental stuff. So, how did you go about developing concepts, characters, plots, and themes when working on the story?
So I guess in terms of just general concepts, during the day, pretty much every day, I jot down random ideas I have in just plain text notepad files. Just random thoughts I have in my head from life experiences, books, songs, movies, media. Most of those go nowhere. They're just random snippets of story ideas, events, dialogue, characters. But I guess as I mentioned with A Tithe and Blood, you usually have this one eureka moment where you think of this concept, theme, a particular line of dialogue even, that suddenly makes you go, oh, this is actually a story, I can work with this. And that's where it really goes from a concept into something bigger.
Some scenes in the Tithe and Blood you like had a much clearer image of before you had the whole of the game, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes, like the very opening words in the very first scene. Those were thought of very early in the concept phase. And likewise, there's a couple of dialogues throughout the different parts of the game. They're sort of like a nucleus, and the whole game kind of grew out of those scenes, even if they're not chronologically at the start. So it's kind of over time, certain scenes in the game are like the oldest content from the very earliest concepts, whereas some other scenes were written like weeks before kind of finishing production. So it's a very non-linear process.
That's cool. That does make a lot of sense though, because it's like, at least from what I've heard and experienced, like you don't just sit down and just like be like, all right, let's start writing this from beginning to end just straight away. It's like you got to do a lot of like pre-work, which involves just thinking, like you mentioned, doing a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm a big stickler for planning. It's before you write anything, you really need to sit down and plan out, okay, how many assets can we pay for this? What's the character arc for this character? What's the pacing going to be like? What's the conflict, what's the resolution, what's the kind of post-end diminuendo. So I always tell first advice to anyone who's making anything really, whether it's a game or a book or anything, sit down and plan. And if you plan, then things get a lot easier in terms of pacing your story right, having a satisfying story arc, that kind of thing.
Awesome. And I guess kind of to add on to this question, is that sort of how you also go about, like, we kind of talked about like going along with like developing like the characters, like their personalities and their roles in the story? Is it just kind of like that same kind of way of thinking about it?
Yeah, just kind of taking that kind of zoomed out perspective of, okay, this is the whole story. How does this character fit in?
Mm-hmm.
What story roles do they have? What events in the
How
story
can I
do they
fit more
spark?
princely looking women into my game?
It was also literally one of the points. So I can't it's a certain part of it is just, I like this thing. Does it fit?
That
And sometimes it does.
that's a
And
great way to go
that's
about
what
it.
we're trying to go for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. So yep, that's correct. Yep.
On to the next question. What made you choose this theme? Blood, Sapporo, crossing era to era, anything you can or want to speak up about?
I guess the kind of Sapporo side of it came from the fact that I've visited that city a few times, and
Ooh.
I always loved it. It's a home away from home, Sapporo. I always loved going there. So, A Tithe in Blood as a whole, it's sort of like a story about the city. The city is a character just as much as any of the characters are. And in terms of the historical Meiji period as well, I love history in general. I love studying history, writing about history. My history teacher loved me. And I find like writing is a really fun way to humanize the past and realize that these people back in the past, we see them as black and white photos or pieces of art, but these are people with just like modern people, and it's really fun to show that. So yeah, that's I guess where that really came from, that time switching part of it.
Awesome. Was there anything else that you wanted to add to that answer, or are we good to move on to the next one?
No, I think I'm good.
Awesome.
Oh, I will say, we
yes.
have a little bit more. Suriko has written a couple of posts that are going to go up on our Patreon at some point.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of goes deeper into these things. So, keep an eye out. Subscribe to our Patreon. Shill. Okay,
Yes,
we're done.
please do. Honestly, maybe we should just drop a link in there while you guys are answering the next question. I can take care of that really quick. What were the inspirations for the game's plot, if any?
Generally urban fantasy stories. My writing style tends to be quite grounded, and a lot of the games I've written in the past are very relationship driven. First Snow, Threefold, Kotou Shoujo. So I want to have a crack at writing a plot driven game, something where the characters and events are the driver instead of only the relationship, which is really challenging. It's the first time I've done a story like this, so it really required a different to how I wrote the plot, how I planned it. And as far as general inspirations, I have to give a call out to Type Moon.
Yes.
Fate Stay Night, Tsukihime, all that good stuff. That, especially that urban fantasy, magic in the modern era kind of thing. And also Innocent Grey, their visual novels. They do very dark, very emotive, atmospheric stories. So they're a big inspiration both for the writing and for the visual direction of the game as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say that for a lot of the backgrounds and the character art and CGs, we looked at a lot of like Innocent Grey games because of the general like really like oppressive, depressing atmosphere that the like visual style of those games have.
Yeah, no, I just remember like pulling up the demo for the very first time and just being like, "Whoa, this feels so like the vibes are so very Type Moon." So it's like very cool that that actually was one of the inspirations behind it. That's awesome.
And yeah, just as like you mentioned, Innocent Grey. Some of the games I've made are Kara and the Shoujo and Flowers. So that's just a couple of the visual novels that inspired A Tithe and Blood as well.
Was working with the Japanese voice actors any different than working with English ones?
So it's interesting because they have similar points, but obviously we kind of focus on like the different points. So for all of our English visual novels, we've worked with Scion as our voice director, who does an incredible job, as I'm sure you've all heard. I guess except for Harry Blossoms, because that was way ages ago, and that was before Scion got into voice directing. But so we've got to work with a brand new director who did like a phenomenal job. We were like praising him all the time. And the actual recording was done in person at a real life studio in Japan with the actors and the directors in the same kind of like space, which was quite different because all of our other works they were done like remotely over the internet. So it's very it made me quite aware of how geography of a language really impacts how that work process goes. Because obviously in Japan, there's a really high concentration of the people who work in a specific field. And like, even if you don't live in Tokyo, if you live like surrounding Tokyo, it's like not that far. But for example, like East Coast to West Coast in America, or like, you know, we've got an English voice actor for Please Be Happy. We can't just fly in Anna Chloe Murray from the UK to record for Please Be Happy into the US and stuff. So it's not a question of is it hard or not. It's just it's different, and I think there is a energy to live direction that is quite different to remote, and also just like if you do a live in-person session, it's the same mic, so then the recording quality is consistent. While if you do it remotely, everyone has different setups and stuff, so it takes quite a while to like balance everything and make sure everything sounds consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, when we do English voice acting, the way that like auditions work is we'll send out lines that the characters will like they'll read out in the character voice, and like this is how I do this character. Whereas for these, we just kind of had like samples from the characters, or sorry, from the actors, and we're more kind of like making our decisions based off that rather than like specific auditions.
Yeah, so at the start of every session, the voice actor would read through a couple of lines, and they'll be like, "Hey, how does this sound? You know, do you need any changes?" And we would request some changes, and then they'll read out those few lines again. And once we really land on a voice, we continued recording the rest of the game with that voice. Yes, they're my reels.
Yeah.
Interestingly, other than Honoka, everyone we asked for a lower pitch multiple times.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was there any specific like just being like, nah, what we're really looking for is just like deeper, or were you just like thinking like they would sound better that way? Like, what was like the thought process behind that?
It's just like characters that are quite like mature, like Yasu, for example, need a bit more of a motherly voice, but she sounded a little bit like a young girl, and we're like, no, deeper. Yeah. Something kind of funny is one of the characters, I won't spoil who, when she read out her lines, the director was like, let's try a more like what's the phrase more like seductive voice, and we're like, no, take it out.
No, that's not the right direction.
No, she needs no seductiveness in her voice whatsoever.
In general, the cast for Tithe and Blood, I guess, been like just a little bit older than a lot of visual novels, so that's reflected a bit in their voices as well.
And then Moeki wanted to add, usually English VA is done remotely at home studios, whereas A Tithe and Blood done at a hired studio.
Yes.
And then the next question is, do you have any plans for a physical release or for going multi-platform?
Yeah, I'll answer this real quickly. We will have a physical release. You will be able to buy them on our web store and at Off-Kai Expo. 99% sure on that, you guys. And also on definitely Steam and itch.io for digital copies. We mentioned earlier, but we don't have any plans for a console release quite yet.
Fair.
But hopefully in the future.
We want to hit us up.
Please, PlayStation rep. I know you're in the chat. Sony, please.
Please.
Yeah.
I need to get that platinum trophy for all the Elan games. There seems to be a lot of depth to the visuals in A Tithe and Blood, working more with backgrounds and extra characters to create more lively scenes. Has this been an active effort? If so, how has working on the visual presentation changed between this and previous games? And then Moeki specified Type Moon / Mihoyo influence.
Yeah, Mahotsukai Niaru, which is a great game. So that's fairly recently released, actually. But that was a big influence as well on A Tithe and Blood, especially the visual direction of that game.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just to clarify, the original release was years and years and years ago. It got a re-release recently in English. It's called Witch on the Holy Night in English.
Yes, it is. It's.
Sorry,
Is false. But yeah, no. So that was a big influence on how the game was directed. Is just seeing all the different visual tricks that Mahotsukai Niaru, Witch on the Holy Night did. And especially Papaya, their direction has just been incredible. They've really gotten so much mileage out of the art assets.
Yeah, I mean, like their work on
Yeah.
Twofold is incredible, right? And
Mhm.
like, it was just such a easy no-brainer choice to hire Papaya for A Tithe and Blood, but they've gone beyond our expectations, which were already quite high, honestly. Genuinely,
Yeah.
just like you haven't gotten to them yet in the demo, but like really, really incredible work still, like just like throughout the entire game.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, this
glad
game in
that's
general. Okay.
possible. Go ahead.
This game in general has like more like kind of dynamic like action scenes than a lot of our past titles too. So it took like a lot of kind of like creative usage of the assets that we had as well to like convey certain things, and I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, definitely having like multiple artists on the core development team has really put an emphasis on the visuals of it. So like there's Moeki and I and Papaya is also an artist, and so we've been able to prepare assets in a way that is easier to work with in the build, such as separating the layers, adding more character expressions, and also just like I think when you commission artists, you give them a write-up and they draw it. In our case, we would often get a write-up and we're like, Surika, that's not happening. We would just change it. We would just change it to what we felt best was for the game, and you know we were offered that trust to do this as well, and to like so the visuals is very much a collaborative what's the word a collaborative effort from everybody involved.
Yeah, I do think it's one of the nice things about game development compared to, say, writing a book, is so much of it is collaborative. It's not... People get this idea that, okay, Suriko is the writer, that means the story was made by Suriko. It doesn't work like that at all. It's... I wrote drafts, but it's a team effort on the art, the music, the writing, everything. And the game's just so much better as a result. It's just incredible to see the rough idea that I had just blossom into this amazing thing because of everyone else's input. It's really incredible to see it shape up.
Yes, Surika brings up a really good point about like the image of it, but like the credits list does not give a proper idea of how development is. It's really so much more than that, and it's just really, really hard to convey that in like a credits list.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, it is interesting, like, hearing you guys, like, just talking about the visuals, because that was one of the things that, like, blew me and a lot of people away, was just, like, how, I guess, like, the question guy said it best, of, like, how alive, how much, like, depth of field there is now, like, how much things are being, like, changed up from, like, previous games, and, like, yeah, no, hearing about all the hard work going into it, I'm like, yeah, no, this just makes sense. Also, yeah, Papaya is the GOAT for sure. The next question is, and I can read this answer for Moeki, is, does the Tithe and Blood have any connections to your previous works? And the response is, no, there are some very small references in the BG art, though.
Hey, Miho may be in here. Maybe she is.
I mean, we saw her in this stream on the game, so, like, come on, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We put her in there live. Oh my gosh. The next question is, for each of the hosts, who do you think is best girl?
Can you answer first so far?
You want me to answer first?
Yeah.
Yep.
For me right now, based purely off of design, it's Kaoru, but Shino seems like so much fun. She seems incredible. And like I was like doing a lot of the voice tests with her to balance the audio, and she's just so fun. I can't get over her.
Did you see her voice tasting line in the build?
Yeah. That's what I was using, because like there's like the little option where you can like click to test the voice, and I just kept clicking hers over and over, being like, "Oh, you have the fun one. You're just so good."
So every other voice line was actually just taken from the build, but while recording for her voice actor at a certain point just said that voice line. I won't spoil it for people who want to listen to it themselves. And we were just like, this is so cute. We need it in the we need it in the Shino voice. And we just like specifically requested that at the end of the session, and we were like, we have to find a place for it, and that's where we put it.
Yes, and please do listen to it. It's such a treat. Please do.
Yeah. Shino is definitely like a developer fave. I think the voice director's favorite is Shino, as well as the localization manager. And she's also my favorite.
Yep. Same.
My reasons are redacted.
You know, maybe we could do another stream after the game comes out, and we can talk about why the best girl's the best girl for all of you. And in full spoilers.
Yeah.
Although I do have to admit, my favourite girl's Honoka, but Shino's definitely up there. I will say it's interesting because when I was writing the game, the character I had the least surety about, like I just wasn't sure how they'd be taken, if I was writing them well, was Shino. I just really didn't know if I was making a good character in her. And then the demo releases and everyone loves her. So I was wrong. She's good.
Just alleviated all of your worries right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a massive sigh of relief. Go, okay, cool, yep, I wrote her okay, that's fine.
I'm glad. It sounds like we're all pretty on the same page though with that. That just, you know, speaks to greatness.
I will say I also like Yonehara quite a lot. For redacted.
She has a certain presence. I really like how it came through in her voice, her art, everything.
Mm-hmm.
You guys fit in so well here. We usually speak in redacted terms. It'll just be, I'll look over at chat and I'll just be like, redacted. It's like, thank you all so much. The next question is, has there been any unexpected challenges while working on this game? And on the flip side, anything that was easier than you expected it to be? And Moeki responded with, trying to release with multiple languages / voice acting on release means that the script has to be done well in advance, and no room for changes / edits beyond that point. Makes the pipeline much more difficult, since usually a lot of games are worked on right up until release.
Yeah, there's been sorry.
Oh, that's good. That's just agreeing with it.
Yeah, there's just been a couple of times while working on the art assets where we kind of wish we could have changed a few things, but we just had no flexibility with regarding that because all of the text has been translated. So that's really been difficult to work around. Yeah, and I think other than that, I mentioned it a couple of times before, but trying to make a historically accurate action game is really, really difficult. Any of those games you see on the market, like, I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima and stuff like that, my god, hats off, like, I think the amount of work that goes into Assassin's Creed games, like the research, incredible, just crazy. And just really, really, really gotta appreciate the research aspect involved.
Yeah, for sure.
And also I mentioned earlier, kimono, painful.
Yeah, it's, you're in deep when you're going through white papers of academic journals, and my bookshelf's full of like books on history that I constantly reference. It is really insane in a historical game just how much you have to go back and go, wait a minute, I assumed something, I better go back and make sure that's correct.
Yeah.
Then you find like this white paper on when sugar-based confectionery entered Japan, and you go down this rabbit hole of hours of research, and it's really fun at the end of it because you learn so much.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
But it's
ask.
like-
Is because you mentioned that you
Yeah.
really loved history, so I was gonna ask like, but like, do you really enjoy like the research aspect of
Oh
it?
god, yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. It's writing a historical game is half actual writing and half research of making sure you're not just taking modern assumptions. And it's great because sometimes you're just really surprised by something you've just taken for granted. And it's really fascinating to learn how chocolate was introduced into Tokyo as a medicine and only spread around Japan slowly as a confectionery. And up until then, they only had bean-based confectionery like mochi. So stuff like that, you just wouldn't know until you write something in that setting, research it, and learn all these cool things.
Which like really helps it like feel. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Go on.
Oh no. I was gonna say Sapporo is also in a very special case because Japan is like a very long country, and so like Sapporo is quite close. Like Hokkaido is close to like Russia, so it has a lot more Russian influence, right, compared to the rest of Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's like
there's-
a lot of that too.
yeah, even in like architecture, culture, and for a good example, when I first went to Sapporo, I took the train as one does, and when I got off the train, there was a Russian kind of folk band playing at the station.
Oh.
Oh, that's
so
so
cool.
cool.
A lovely thing to kind of come into, and that was really my introduction to how Hokkaido in general has so much trade and influence from Russia. Like you go to Hakodate and look at the historical port districts, and the architecture is much more European inspired than perhaps the Edo era things you'd see on the mainland. So it is a very different part of Japan. I love it for that.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
it's such like important stuff to do because it really like helps like the setting feel as genuine to the real thing as possible, which like inherently gives it a lot of like culture. And so like even like people who like understand the culture will like be able to like see and appreciate it. And if you got stuff like that wrong, it could like potentially pull them out of it. So it's like this kind of research and accuracy is like really important in a story like this.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say there is something very delightful about people taking influence from locations and getting it completely wrong.
Oh yeah, that's the complete opposite's also very fantasy sometimes.
There's a Japanese visual novel set in Las Vegas and they have beaches.
You know what? At least they weren't
beautiful.
that far off. They got close.
Yeah, I think Mikey also raises a good point. I mean, fundamentally, we are foreigners writing a game in a different country, and I think along with that comes a certain amount of respect you have to have for the setting.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's important to take a best effort at getting something right, and also checking with people who live there to make sure that it makes sense to them.
Wait, sorry. Moki said EF is set in Australia. Is it?
Partly, yes, it is. It's you
What?
wouldn't know unless it's said. It's a very odd one.
What? Sorry, that was.
I love this.
Okay.
The surprise coming from that. That was great. That was awesome.
How is this Australia? What do you guys?
I don't.
That's shocking.
That's awesome. On to the next question. For the writer, how have you dealt with both languages? It must be hell of the work. And Moaki's response to that was, we work with the translator, but trying to do multiple languages support on release is indeed a lot of work.
So my answer to that is alcohol.
My answer to that is crying and
I love it.
venting.
It adds so many more difficulties to development.
Oh, that's so fair. You're all so real for that one. The next question is, what engine is this game made in?
So it's made in Rempi, but it has a bit of lore. We actually did try to make it in Unity for a brief time, using the Narnia novel framework. We ended up a few months later reverting that and going back to RenP. It was a nightmare to try and deal with. So
Yeah, not enough of a
RenP,
Please Be Happy's made in.
it's every VN engine has its own quirks.
Mhm.
And RenP has its own issues, but we found it just much easier to work with for a Tithe and Blood.
It has a maturity that can only come with
Definitely.
being made. It's a game engine for visual novel creators that's been used and actively developed on for like 15 years at this point.
Yeah.
It's just got so much more stability and features and stuff that just makes it so much more pleasant to work with than other visual novels that are still quite early in the development cycle.
Yeah, it's
There's
really
even
that
some
maturity
Japanese
that-
developers who've started using it now, or like have been porting their games to RenP from like whatever engines they originally were on.
I want to say, for the record, that I pronounce it Renpai. That's it.
That's also how I pronounce it. That's how it makes sense in my brain.
RenPy's probably correct because I mean the P is Python, so that's probably a better way of saying it.
I'm just saying it.
But RenP does sound like a cute name, though. It is very cute. And the next question is, what's the name of your favorite songs from the OST? And Moeki's is the ritual theme. Dark Crimson, question mark?
It is Dark Crimson. We have two variants on it. We've got Dark Crimson and Dark Crimson 2. That's the scene that happens in the very fun scene at the very start of the demo.
The one with the heartbeats in your head.
Yeah, the heartbeats is a separate sound effect, so you can't get rid of those. But yes, that is that theme. My favorite is one I don't think is actually in the first 3 scenes, so that will be exciting for you guys to encounter, which is called Suzuki no Times, which is kind of like a chill, modern vibe sea song.
And my favourite's the main theme, which is called Tithe and Blood. The atmosphere of it is really good. I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Absolutely agreed. The main theme, like, I will sometimes just like turn it on to listen. Like, I'll pull up like the demo just to listen to the main theme in the background while I'm like working or writing or stuff. I'm like, this just feels so atmospheric. Like, it feels like how reading a Tithe and Blood feels to read. It's like, it matches so perfectly.
Yeah. Claire did such a really good job on the OST.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What was the process like for pitching a Tithe and Blood? And Moaki says, if I remember correctly, Alon was looking for a couple of new games. A Tithe and Blood started around the same time as our Home by Keeper, I believe. Josh asked Sariko if he would be interested in writing an Alon title due to his First No connection. A Tithe and Blood started about 9 months after First No was released. That's weird to think about that timeline. That's so weird.
Yeah, I was going to talk at length about that. So I was talking with Josh sometime after First No released, and Josh knew my work on Power Shoujo as well, so I had a bit of a portfolio at that point of projects I'd worked on. So we were interested in working together, and I wrote up a design document. And design document's basically just a 2-pager kind of document that really goes over the basic premise of what you want to make, the characters. The big one's the scope. So, you know, who you're working with knows how much they're going to have to put into it to budget for it, and the potential market that you're trying to hit with the game. So you're kind of trying to sell the game concept. Why is this going to make money for you? Well, here's how much money I'll need to make it, but I think I'll make it back because it really works well for this market. And that took a few revisions just to make it really quite work in Ellen's portfolio. That's really where that crossover period was between being a magical girl thing, shifting that over more to urban fantasy. And it's so much better. It all fell into place. Decision.
So something.
Really...
Oh, sorry.
What?
Oh, I just want to say something kind of like also really significant is that at this point in time, Suriko had and still has a really good like track record or like consistency of like just being known to like write the full script and not have any delays and stuff, and so that was definitely a big factor in our consideration as well.
I think the advice I give anyone just breaking into VNs is definitely start small. Don't do Guitar Shoujo. Don't make a 5-path, million-word
And keep your
that was-
promises.
Who would ever do that?
Yeah, it's start small, keep your promises, and practice.
Yeah.
Just my first drafts for Katara Shoujo were terrible. I started from the same place everyone does. You suck at skill. It takes time to get better. So start small, make your mistakes, learn from them, and then by the time you're ready to pitch a commercial game, you'll have a bit of portfolio behind you, stuff you've managed to actually do, and you'll have a bit of a better idea about how development works.
Yeah, and just like being consistent and being reliable, it is something that will follow you around, and same with the opposite. And so, making sure that you build up trust with the people that you work with is a really, really important part about people wanting to continue working with you. Unsurprisingly.
Turns out that being trustworthy and reliable helps a lot. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
It's in general, ideas are cheap. It's the work ethic that matters. You
Mhm.
can have the greatest idea in your head. It doesn't matter if you can't get it down on a page.
Yeah, you need to be able to execute on any of your ideas and actually follow through on them. The next question, we've kind of already talked about this, but like maybe
Yeah,
there's
I
more
think
to
we can.
add. Oh, or was there? Were we going to just
I
move
think we
on
can
from it?
skip.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. What kind of brushes or other tools do you use when coloring the art for this game? It feels very distinct while still feeling similar to previous works. And Moeki says, also a Tithe. Oh, I guess this is kind of like a follow-up to someone else's answer.
Yeah,
So,
I'll just cover both parts.
okay.
But like, something kind of, it's really interesting to be given the question like, what kind of brushes do you use? Because I feel like I don't think too hard about brushes when I draw. So I don't really know specifically about Kabuta, the character designer, and how the art has changed. Obviously, if you compare the art between Please Be Happy and A Tithe and Blood, there are differences, especially because Please Be Happy has a very like watercolory, papery texture, while A Tithe and Blood has a lot more of a polished, clean look, like a digital look. But for me, it's mostly the same. It's the difference if I apply a paper texture or not. So my most relied on brush for like every step of the process is this brush called the Darker Pencil in Clipsio Paint. It's just one of the default brushes, and I just change the settings on it as I go depending on what I need. But if you are looking for like a brush set to work with and like a really solid one, one that I really like is Red Juice's brush set for Clip Studio Paint. I'll link this in the chat. But
Ooh, yes, please.
Red Juice, Red Juice is a really famous like Vocaloid artist. Like did World Is Mine, but also did one of the Hololive models, Iris, as well. So that's I'll get you the link. So you
Thank you,
and
thank
also
you.
Continue on for Moeki's part of the answer is that A Tithe is Tithe and Blood is the most sort of like it's got that like dark and depressing dark and depressing oppressive atmosphere, and so all the colors are quite muted, and it's also very like down to earth, so trying to keep the visuals as down to earth as possible, especially the modern side of things, was something that was a consideration. We did try to make the Meiji era like a lot more brighter, a lot more cheerful, because that represents like spring, while the modern era stuff was very much like the drabness of winter.
Yeah, and that really does come through, especially with the first shot just being like Honoka laying down in like the bright, vibrant sun and then looking up at like this beautiful shot of a tree. It really helps like paint like the distinction between the two eras.
Yeah, it's one of the main, I guess, even from the very early concepts, one of the big themes was contrast. That's contrast in terms of writing, spending time with the elsewhere, fun, come back to the modern world, not so fun. But also in the visuals, having that contrast between the Meiji eras, happiness, brightness, cheerfulness, and the oppressive modern era. And you see that in a lot of characters, especially after the demo, that they're designed to contrast each other in a lot of different ways. It's another really cool concept of the game.
Oh, thank you, Weave, for the hydrate and the posture check. Let's make sure everyone does that because we have been sitting for a while.
Oh yeah.
I was definitely shrimping up right there.
Stretching.
There we go. Ooh. Oh, that felt great. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you just gotta unshrimp a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Especially when you start just like getting like relaxed and everything, and you don't realize you're doing it. So as soon as someone brings it up, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I am just bent in half. um, were there any noteworthy changes from the original pitch to now? We kind of also already talked about that, but spoilers, ellipses, ellipses, ellipses is Moeki's answer.
Check the art book when it comes out.
Absolutely will be doing that. Any kind of art books, I'm just such a sucker for them. I need them all.
I will work hard on it, and it's not been created yet.
Oh, you're gonna do amazing. I know you're gonna do amazing.
Thank you.
What advice do you think would be most helpful for aspiring creators? Advice on telling better stories, improving art, and understanding the technical side of VN creation more.
I guess I touched on this a bit earlier with an earlier answer. I guess a few dot points I'd give is focus on small projects, especially at the start. Writing is hard, visual novel development is hard, and the smaller you start, the easier it is to, if you need to, fail. If a project collapses, that happens. I've been in a few projects that haven't worked out and gone nowhere. That's part of learning. That's part of life. You learn lessons. It's not a waste. It's just more material to practice doing what you're doing. Another one is to give yourself downtime. So take long walks, take a long shower. Just make sure you've got like time that you're not doing anything and your brain can just wander. And that's really where 99% of my ideas have come from, is just I'll be at work, take a long walk to get lunch, just randomly thinking of stuff, and then bang, to have a really good idea that I'll note down and later becomes an entire game. And lastly, logic is as important as creativity. People have this idea that there are like creative people and logical people, and from my life experience, that's not how it works at all. You need both, and logic comes into it in terms of sitting down and planning, working out how many assets you're going to need to pull off a story, and just knowing how to write a good story. So your intro, your conflict, your resolution, get all that down before you just start writing off to the sunset and making a meandering game that has a terrible pacing, and just helps to sit down and just plan this stuff out before you start writing, really.
I think I think following on from that idea of like having a plan and stuff, something that I found is really, really helpful is like to have like a mission statement or like a theme that you can always kind of refer back to when you start feeling lost in your work. So it might not even be something that you know when you first start a project, but like as you come through it, I think people will have a sort of like idea that they want to convey. I mean, not everyone, but we do. So whenever I start to encounter story blocks after I figured out the mission statement, I'll like target the problem or like the part that I'm stuck on from the point of view of what do I want people to come away with, and that helps me address that problem in a much more efficient way of just like knowing where my end goal is, instead of just being like, oh, I don't know what to do next. So that's my suggestion regarding working on like a story.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that was like, especially the I think it's kind of a combination of like making sure you have a plan and giving yourself downtime, because the downtime is also important for like actually letting your brain like rest and like feel better while also working on ideas naturally. And then that is a big problem that I feel like me and like a lot of other people have, is like just planning. You gotta actually just sit down and do it.
Yeah. Also, we use a lot of spreadsheets, and you need to make sure they're in the same folder. Make sure they're in the same folder. Make sure all your notes are in the same folder.
Yeah. Was that an issue before of things not being in the same folder and getting lost?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just, oh my god, sometimes I'm just like, man, what was in this text? Can Google find this like one document that I remember existing where we planned out some story notes?
And then Google says no, it can't find it.
In general, I think organization is underrated. Like, there's been so many times I've like gone to like an FTP repository of assets for a game, And it's like, okay, is it blah 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 dot ra, or is it like just random gibberish file names? And like just sitting down planning out how you're going to organize things is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we've been like a file name system for scenes that we've used for Please Be Happy and a Tithe and Blood is so every scene in Please Be Happy is like C1S1, C1S2, which is chapter 1, scene 1, and then a Tithe and Blood it's A for act instead of chapter. But the benefit to this is that the like file organization is automatically correct, you know. So when you sort by file name, it's just like everything's in chronological order, and it's just really easy to manage that way as well.
One of the nice things is that once you get a system like that, and when it comes into doing smaller projects first, you learn, okay, this worked in this project, and then you start doing that for all your future projects. So now, like Alivers almost have like this little template in our heads for how to organize a VM project and bootstrap it off the ground.
Yeah, and that's why doing like small projects is so important as well, and not just starting a small project, but finishing a small project so you can get a view of the entire development cycle.
That was like because we're saying it here, but like people are agreeing. Like that was some very solid advice for sure, especially keeping everything organized and like actually like learning the process before you try like do something huge. That's great. The next question is, we've kind of also already talked about this one, but was approximately how long has A Tithe and Blood been in development for?
So it's officially started development in 2021. So 4 years officially. But I also add probably at least a year before that for, I guess you could call it the pre-concept phase, where you're just kind of jotting down notes, sketching out ideas, before it really comes into, okay, this is what A Tithe in Blood looks like, and then you start from that moving forwards. So I've got text documents from about 2019 for A Tithe in Blood, so that's really where the very first seed started from, 2019.
That's crazy. That's like, again, it makes so much sense, but it's like when you think about it like that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been in development for so long. Oh my gosh.
Games are hard to
Yeah,
make.
no, again, art is hard, and what is a visual novel if not a lot of that? So
Yeah.
The next question is, what's been your favorite part of working on A Tithe and Blood? Moaki's answer was designing the characters. Usually we sent Kobuda some sketches, but crew images to work from, and the finals actually turn out very similar to them, lol.
Yeah, we got to see that on stream earlier today, so that was fun.
Yes.
For me, it's the same for every project, but I think my favorite part is always just like when the assets come together, and I can just watch the whole thing, like all the fruits of our labors come together in a cohesive, like finalized package. And shout out to Papaya again, the goat. But like being able to see everything come together was really like a highlight while working on A Tithe and Blood. Also, coming up with like random ships and headcanons for them. Shino and Yonahara, you guys can figure out the logic behind that once you finish the game, maybe.
Yep. And for me, I mean, I guess one of it was what Marty touched on was that moment in production where a scene goes from a bunch of assets to the scene directed with music, art, writing. Seeing that first come together is like a really magical moment in every game, where it goes from ideas to an actual tangible thing. But also for A Tithe in Blood, I mean, when it was first being credited, I didn't think voice acting was on the table. That was an opportunity that came up during development. So when the voice actors first started giving their lines to the characters, that was a really magical moment. It was just hearing, especially Honoka, because writing her as a point of view character, I've been in her head for so long. Hearing Honoka speak for the first time was really magical. I would honestly say a life experience I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. That moment was really special.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we have a little extra question in the chat that Addie kind of already answered. Are there any crack ships you guys came up with?
Yeah. Shino Yonahara.
I die inside every time I It's cursed.
Oh, and why is that? Why is that? Elaborate.
No, it's not cursed. You'll get it. You'll understand. Please understand.
I think you could do like an interesting ship with Shino and almost any of the characters, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, obviously it's a story about Honoka and Yasuo, but I do think a lot about like what the potential of like a Honoka, like a Shino route would have been if it was like a multi-route one. I think that's less crack and more in the potentials.
Hey, that's what future DLCs are for. We just got to add a route for everyone. It's because redacted. Exactly.
I'm just thinking how much whiskey I have in my pantry after hearing.
Gonna have to restock.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll be with you every step of the way. We believe in you. And we have come down to the final question for the night. We are seeing a
number 46.
Yes, number 46. Thank you for that. We are seeing a rise in Yuri as almost a subgenre in many more things lately, including subjects like horror, which we see in things like Other Side Picnic. Is this affecting more of Alon's future titles, or is this an experimental title for the studio?
So something that I've often kind of said, and I know most people might not think this, but like I honestly, like, obviously we're known for like the Yuri thing, but rather than like a studio that does Yuri games with fantasy, I always think of a lot of our games as like fantasy games with Yuri in them, where it's sort of the plot aspects that come first, over like the romance and relationship stuff in a lot of our titles, and so I think, you know, we kind of dip into a lot of different genres on our different games. So, for instance, like Heart of the Woods, you know, kind of dips into like dark fantasy territory, similar to a Tithe and Blood. Whereas, like, you know, Please Be Happy is very like urban fantasy, stuff like that. So I don't necessarily know if it's like a particular trend or like something that we actively try to pursue, but just is kind of more like naturally through what we're interested in. Like we end up going in a bunch of different directions.
Yeah, like Yuri cannibalism.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I think that one's just a subgenre at this point. There's so much Yuri cannibalism.
Toxic Yuri.
I want to say
Toxic Yuri is crazy.
Without a Voice began development in 2016, I think. It has Yuri cannibalism, just saying. But like, this was like 9 years ago. You know, we were doing it before it was cool, guys.
Yeah, you were ahead of the trend.
Y'all started it.
Yeah.
Y'all started it.
But yeah, considering it as like an experimental title or a new trend that we're testing out, I think is kind of misleading. We've supported horror adjacent Yuri. I've made Without a Voice, and Who is the Red Queen is all quite on the horror side as well. It's just like we follow what we want to make, and sometimes maybe that aligns with what the trends are currently, but it's not really a consideration for us.
Well, listen, y'all are just the trendsetters.
Like, we started development so long ago too, where like before some of these things were as like trendy as they are now. So yeah, just kind of it's a cultural zeitgeist, I guess, you know.
And also, I mean, the biggest inspirations for Tithe and Blood were things like Tsukihime, Fate Stay Night, Kara no Kyokai, or Garden of Sinners. That's a big one. And those have been out for a very long time. So it's not really a new direction in terms of thematically, I suppose.
Yeah, and Josh
Also,
brought up... Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that something that I found personally in my creative life is like I like to make something very quick, cute, and sweet, and then immediately follow it up with something bloody and really gory. And so, like after Please Be Happy, it's like, okay, that's enough cute stuff. All right, it's time for violence.
It's quite similar with so I mean, obviously in the past I've written Katoa Shoujo and First Snow, and those are both quite happy, light, fluffy, romantic titles. So Tithe and Blood was really my desire to test my limits and go, okay, let's write something completely different here. Can I do this? And I'm so glad the answer was yes, because I could have easily not gone that well. It's a credit to all the other developers that helped me make something that I definitely was not used to writing.
Yeah.
Addie demands violence.
Always. I don't know how much this comes across in my like public facing like socials and stuff, but I really like really depressing stuff. There's a genre of visual novel called Utsuge, which just means like depressing game. Love that stuff. Man, give me depression, give me suffering. I have a video clip on my desktop that Summer is pointing to, and it just says like click here for pain, where it has like a really painful moment in the visual novel that I like to watch sometimes. So, like please be happy, love it. I love my daughters, they're so good. But sometimes I just wanted violence, and my Tithe and Blood fills that like hole in my heart where I just want pain and suffering.
Like the beat up variants you offer on your commissions.
Hell yeah.
We were one timeline away from a please be happy just being please be sad. Oh no.
Oh, I did get a place be sad. It's called a Tithe and Blood.
True. All right, and that covers all the questions that we have for tonight. Was there anything else that y'all wanted to go over or say to the lovely people who've joined us tonight?
I want to read out what Moki just said, which is the satanic ritual scene was hilarious to direct. Well, not necessarily hilarious, but we had a lot of fun making it as horrific and like horrifying and horrible as possible. So sorry, just wanted to add that in.
No, that's perfect. Again, you guys are the stars here. Interrupt me whenever you want.
But thank you everyone so much who sent us a question, and everyone who like joined in and listened or is listening to this after the fact.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you everyone who tuned in, watching. Thank you Bender as well for having us here and for hosting and everything. It's been really fun.
Of course.
On really short notice.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about that?
I think I requested, like I was like, hey, should we do this? Maybe like 2 days ago.
I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, that was like, hey, a Tithe and Blood update. But no, thank you all so much for like sharing this and like letting me be a part of it. It's so much fun to do. I love doing all these streams, and I hope that we could do a lot more of these in the future because this has been a blast. So thank you all so much for coming.
Yep, thank you for hosting.
Yeah, looking forward to it too.
A Tithe and Blood coming out June 16th. Mark your calendars. Wish list, please.
It's so close.
Play the demo with voice acting.
Yes, please. We only went through one scene. That's only a third of it, and we were talking over a lot of it. You got to read it for yourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. We didn't even get to hear Shino's voice. Make sure you go and click on her voice testing line in the game as well.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, if there's nothing left that you guys want to talk about, then that sounds like a great place to wrap up for the night. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and call it there.
Awesome. Well, then I will see all you lovely people in the next one. We're going to be getting back to our normal twofold on Wednesdays for Women Wednesday and Undertale sometime in the week. We'll be getting back to a normal schedule next week. So I'll see all you beautiful people in the next one. Bye-bye.
Good night.